So, previously, as you were trekking on your way from Beacon through the dangerous wilds of the South Holt within Novus, having encountered various things here and there, your escapades and inter-party character conversations ensued around several campfires, and several crows watched you from a distance while you slept and were keeping watch, and kind of also kept watch overhead as you were traveling. Having barely gotten away with most of your lives, fighting a leathery winged horned individual who'd come through a portal within a broken tower not too far from your final destination, saying that they were seeking to find out about the material plane, the world, what it has to offer as far as perhaps its military force and what other resources could be gleaned from it and bringing it back to wherever they're from. A battle ensued in which they were trying to capture Xander or entice Xander to come with them, and Duke was felled during that combat. You rescued the hill giant child. I think his name is Mord or Morg or whatever his name, Mord. And then his father Nimrus came running out of the woods right at the climax of the battle and came to help out. A small conversation ensued in which he agreed to carry some of you, as most of your horses had died, to the last leg of this journey, finally coming upon the museum entrance. I'll just cut the rest of it short. You guys found out that there were two members within this cave right outside this main entrance, this deep dive, as it were. One of which being a member of the followers of Zil, who, upon some coercing, was kind of made a deal to clear out this dungeon, and they would resurrect, or at least make an attempt to resurrect Duke. The resurrection was successful, and there were thank yous that were handed out. You did, I should have said, upon coming upon this location, there were some monsters that were trying to get at the guys that were in the cave, and you kind of pulled them off of that, defeated the monsters with the help of Nimrus, the hill giant, and then the rest of that came about. The member of the followers of Zil, Elwyn Brygion, yeah, said that in lieu of Duke not making it back from the dead, that there were others, or perhaps another within the cave itself, that could help you in your journeys as you proceed to the dungeon. So we pick back up as this incantation has finished. The diamond is consumed, the bow that Threll offered up, and whatever Xander would have said as his offering. I think Razir also offered, I can't remember what it was, just
some words.
Some words. I'm going to go ahead and switch the music here real quick. Sure. Duke, your eyes snap open. It's dark outside. Your eyes are like almost crusted shut as they kind of come open from this whatever experience you've been through. The last thing you remember is the searing hot pain of a molten core of a fireball hitting the ground and rippling. In fact, actually, I think you were unconscious at the time, so you were kind of
unconscious.
You weren't even. Well, you got hit by the first one,
Yep.
And just seeing the bright light at the end of the tunnel. But your eyes open, and your friends, a large hill giant, and some other individuals are standing around kind of looking down at you with bated breath as everybody kind of exhales slightly as you regain yours.
What happened? Where am I? Don't.
I'll walk over and reach my hand down. Welcome back, Bradass.
Welcome back. And I take his hand and I kind of sit up. I don't get all the way up. I look around and what happened to the creature? Where everything was so dark.
We scared that one off, but not before he gave us a parting gift. It kind of sent you to meet your makers for a tad bit there. You about went to see them old gods of yours.
There was nothing. There was no one. It was black. It was not.
Hold on a sec. Hold on now. Don't get into all philosophical now. You weren't dead for very long, so don't take anything you experienced as concrete. But take your time. You're just coming back.
Yeah. Everyone who comes back always says that they don't remember nothing. We're not supposed to know what's on the other side. So every time you're resurrected, I imagine you get your memory wiped. I wouldn't think about it. Just don't worry about it.
I don't know what to say. I appreciate your efforts, and I mean, I am still on this earth, this place. This is a lot. I need. What are we doing? Where are we?
Well,
we just arrived at the Rising Requiem, and that fellow over there from the followers of Zil was able to revive him.
Zil again.
Yes, I'm Elwin,
That's the fellow that
and this is
Dan Ladir called.
I did, yes. This is Elwin and apparently Liari as well. We're here, Duke. We've arrived. I'm glad you're back. I'm so glad. I believe we will need your help once we delve deeper, as it were. But I think that everyone should really have a rest before we go too much further.
I agree.
Great idea.
That is
Duke wasn't the only one who took hits from that fight with that thing.
That would be wonderful.
And Sanladir kind of approaches Elwin, and you just kind of hear the bit of conversation back and forth. You said that there are others that could aid us. Is it for a price? Is there some kind of prerequisite here? I didn't realize you were traveling with others, including Liari. Who else is in the cave? And Elwin kind of nods, and I don't know what he's going to ask for. I don't know what he's looking for. He just kind of showed up. Seems friendly enough. It says he's looking to go on in some kind of journey, looking to help people. I feel like you folk could use the help. Here, I'll bring you in. I'll introduce you. Kind of beckons for everybody to follow towards the cave. There's a slightly lit fire on the inside of this small, humble cave with the ceiling is not more than 7 or 8 feet tall. It's just like an outcropping or of a few rocks around the outskirts of this, hollowed out somehow. Become mostly flat dirt floor with just some embers that are burning in the center, giving off this faint orange glow to the outskirts of the cave. And sitting down by the fire, Adam, if you'd like to describe your character.
He's about 6'5", 200 pounds, so he's got a slender, slightly muscular build. He's black, he's got dreads, and he's got soft, kind eyes. And he'll be sitting there just smoking away on his glass pipe.
Elwin.
Oh, wow, he's a furball. Also a druid. Would you want me to get into the... Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is just appearance. You can kind of talk about whatever amount of your background you want to once you're asked by the party, if they do.
And he's wearing just very basic stuff. He's not dressed fancy at all. And no shoes.
Any visible weapons on this figure?
He would have a sling around his body, as well as I don't think we put armor on him.
We didn't get to that, no.
I should have thought about that.
We finished up his finished up his character like as we were logging on.
Yeah, I thought it was all done, but a couple things were not there. So he's wearing TBD across his chest, and there's definitely a sling over that
You can start with leather
leather armor.
for his pack,
Yeah,
Okay.
and a
and
backpack,
then probably your quarterstaff.
sling, not a quarterstaff.
Yeah, both
Sling and a quarterstaff. Huh.
Walking stick.
four shield.
Okay.
Or a giant pipe.
At the same time.
It's just a really long pipe.
This is a really long pipe.
That's amazing.
So he has. Mhm. No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Elwin walks in and goes over to Sheku. Some people just showed up and kind of saved us from those creatures that were attacking outside. I'm sure you heard the ruckus that was being caused. They said they're in need of help. You said you were one who was looking to help others. I guess you can talk with them and see if it's something you're interested in.
Yeah, man. Where are they?
Everybody walks in behind Elwin. Louise, what's just a brief description? I'm going to ask for everybody just so that Adam has that.
A kind of tattered scale mail with a green cloak and hood with a small beard. He carries a shield and a staff, and he has a big backpack, like just over the cloak with his bedroll and the cooking utensils and various like survival equipment. Yeah.
Cool. There's also a slightly shorter, might not refer to them as a boy, but Xander is the younger human wizard with a white and blue outfit, like a spell book kind of attached to their hip, and also a backpack. Short brown hair. One eye is blue,
Gold.
and the other's like a amber.
I think it's gold. you
Gold.
said?
Gold and
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
Yep. And there's a small tiny little white fox that comes trotting in behind him.
Ooh.
Yep. That's Jason's character.
Start.
Alex.
So it's Duke is a like a thinner, well tanned person. So you use black. Mine's well tanned, not as dark as you. Just so you're aware. He has silvery hair. It's kind of short. Not like super long. He's very thin, but similar, like athletic, very athletic build, like Bruce Lee-esque. You know. Most of his body is wrapped in like bandages, heavily wrapped, and he wears a golden mask, just featureless golden mask over his face. He's about 5'10".
Threll.
Thrall, that come walking in is a big old gray warg. And sitting on that, you have a hill dwarf wearing a nice full set of very worn and dirty studded leather. Their face also just covered in dirt, just like everything about this person and their mount is just like apparently lives nowhere. Is kind of looks like a hobo, with red and braided hair in a traditional style that a dwarf would do on their beard, but instead is on their hair. With a big old longbow that's about the same height as themselves.
Wow.
They'll walk up to the fire, pop down. The warg will just lay down. Threll will lean against them and then kick off her shoes to rest their probably sweaty socks next to the fire. Try to dry them out.
Classy.
Nice. There's it's going to be tough for Gade to fit in here with everybody else that's crowding in, because Gade is pretty big and this is a really small. It's like maybe hold 10 people.
Still gonna try.
Okay, just kind of force your way in there. And last but
Yeah.
not least is Razier.
Riding up on his odd-looking steed that's looks a little off, hops off and gives it a couple pats, and then waves his hand, and it disappears. He comes strolling in. I guess we'll bed down here for the night. And in front of you, you see Spooky Cowboy. A picture I've pulled up. He's mid 5 foot, not super tall. He's got a wide brim hat. He's got a bandana that's either around his neck or pulled up as he needs. He's wearing a big old poncho over the top of what he's got on. If in certain spots you can see he's also got some studded leather armor that looks like an old school Western like vest people would wear, but it's armor.
Nice.
Some basic brown pants, black boots. Around his hip, he's got a holstered gun. And if you look closely beneath his gloved hand, he's got a glove on one hand, and the other hand is wooden, and it's got designs all in it, and there's green energy flowing through it. It's a prosthetic of some sort. And his eyes are also a dark green, almost blackish.
Does he have a face?
Mostly. Right now he does. Yes, he has a face.
Nice.
Mostly people who see Razier for the first time, like most of the NPCs, just kind of look at Razier and are like, "What?" And
Something feels a bit off about him, especially if the longer you look.
I'm gonna look at Razier and then just put my pipe away.
okay.
You gonna be joining us on this little excursion there, Furman?
Gonna take a good look at all of you. You know, I think I will, man. What's your name?
Name's Razier.
I'm Sheku.
Hey, cool.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What brings you out this way? You traveling with these two?
Oh yeah, man. I was just walking, in the woods, and I heard someone needed some help, so I figured I'd come on down, see what was up, and I was just chilling. They mentioned some other guys might need some help, so I figured, hey, I'm already out here,
The altruism is nice and all, but you were just walking out and about between the towns.
We'll look off into the distance. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I look to the rest of the group.
How does he?
Well,
Yeah.
what do y'all think?
I mean, after
Also
what
one-
just happened, I feel we could use the help.
I want to just kind of take a look at all of them, and in my own head, having been around this area and what I've been through, do I think these guys are gonna make it on their own? As a GM, I'm asking you.
yeah, no, I understand. Make an insight check if you want, or perception, your choice.
I believe perception is my better.
They're both +5.
Perception it is. 12.
12. The question comes up into your head, how did I make it this far alive by myself, really? Being this far from any known civilization and knowing how dangerous things are out in the wild is actually kind of odd to find a singular individual. And sizing these guys up, they seem at least as powerful as you are.
I'm super stealthy by going invisible in my that thing passing without a trace. So I've just been invising myself through, just walking, checking out new stuff for my weed.
Is this Sheku's inner monologue that's happening right now? Is that what that is? Kind of.
I'm just letting you know as
Okay.
well, so
Sure.
we're on the same page as how I did this canonically.
Xanladir
It checked.
Xanladir steps forward. You, Mr. Sheku, you seem fairly capable, especially if you've come all this way by yourself. I just have two questions. The first of which, the most pertinent, is: do you require restitution for your aid in whatever it is that we're going to be accomplishing here? Because I can't afford it. So,
I'm sorry. What?
well, it's just that Elwyn described your character, you know, your sense of person, as being one that enjoys helping others. And of course, we could use the aid, but I'm not made of money, and I hired these specifically. Let's just put it this way: there's something inside that we're going to be delving for, and I don't know that it can be split 7 ways.
Look around again. What are you guys going down there for? I figured being out this far, you had a good reason to be out. It's dangerous out here. What brings you here?
Xanladir looks over towards Elwyn and kind of nods and frowns slightly, and Elwyn kind of steps forward. Yeah, they're just taking care of the underground part of this. We're trying to get down there and do some resurrections on some older individuals. It's part of our mission statement. I brought him in to help out with that, I guess.
I want to insight check him and ask. I'll insight check first. Oh, that's a nat 1.
He's too
6.
high.
I mean, you talked to Elwyn previous to the rest of the party arriving, so you know that is what his goal is down here, and resurrecting some old heroes of some kind. As to whether or not that's exactly why this group is here, you're not sure.
Heroes. Basically, he says he's resurrected some old people, and I'm like, is he good or bad? But yeah, well, in that case, well, if we go down there and things get hairy, I'd hope you'd find some way to repay me for my services. Amongst all of you.
Look, we got a job to do. We agreed on something, and you're a long way from wherever your home is, but you seem decent enough, and you're just one guy, and I figure you're free to come along and help, and maybe we'll see about what we find down there. But as far as payment, I'm not sure any of us are up for hiring no one.
At the worst, he can have my share. I don't need a lot, and the help would be welcome. Especially, I don't feel like myself right now, so I am willing to gain the support. I'm very tired.
Poor Duke.
Bradaz does have a point.
I am very tired.
You're welcome to join us, and I guess we can discuss repayment once we figure out what we find down there.
Yeah, that sounds fair as fair.
So Thrall
You do look
will,
very tired.
Very
Thrall
tired.
will take her glaive and try to use it so she doesn't have to get up. Try to use it to put another log on the fire by just reaching over to whatever wood pile they have and try to balance up one over there. I was like, yeah, maybe Nicodon can offer him a position or something.
Make a dexterity check.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. Too tired. Can't quite
9.
get it on there.
you bring it like most of the way over, and it like falls short, and then Gage just kind of nudges it with his nose and just flops over into the fire, and kind of causes some embers and sparks to cascade out towards Sheku on the ground.
Yeah, teamwork.
I mean, we did agree with Xanladir that most of the payment would come from the whatever we found down there. So.
Oh, that's correct. That's what I was saying. I'm not exactly sure if everything that's down there can be split equally throughout. It would keep increasing our numbers, bringing a veritable army down into this underground place here. There's only so many things to go around here. And the final bit of what it is that we're after, better to keep it under wraps, so to speak. And that comes to my second question, Sheku. Where are you from?
I'm from a small place called Sayar. Unless I mispronounced that.
You didn't mispronounce it, but you didn't tell me anything about your backstory at all. So that's really, I'm discovering it, as is everyone else at the same time. So, Sayar, you say.
He is the greatest weed farmer ever. he's no joke, but he's humble about it.
All right.
Is this not a place?
Sayor, ain't that place off the coast to the west?
You've heard of it.
There it is.
I myself are from stationed in River, and plenty of boats come and go down the river there. Not a few that are from Sayor. But yeah, I've heard of it. Ain't never been there.
Yeah, it's a small little place. I like it just fine.
Heck's a boat.
You know, man, you should come on by, check out the farm after we're done.
Yeah, I mean, we do have business over there after this, maybe, but yeah.
At some point, I think we'll be back.
You know,
Well, maybe you could repay me by doing some labor back home. Next time you're in Sayor.
We'll see. I guess.
It's gonna chuckle.
okay. So,
All right, Duke, you need to go to sleep. Get some rest.
Thank you. And you can see Duke's already laying down and like halfway there anyway. He's thank you. I'm going to I have so much to think about. And then he just stops talking. And then after a short period, he is sleeping.
absolutely. Okay. Is there any other conversation that anybody else wants to have or want to proceed with overnight?
Sleep time.
I'd probably just brief conversation with Xander of see everything worked out fine, and gotta get too worried about stuff too quickly, and there'd be a conversation there of some sort. We can maybe go back and revisit that when Jason's actually around.
Probably. And it's really unfortunate that he's not here to have that conversation, but it is what it is.
I wanted to ask Xenaldir's a few questions, but after what he said about like the reason we were here, I'd wait to do so later when there's less people listening. Yeah.
Okay. So you probably let him know that you're looking to have a conversation, but wanted to wait. So we'll assume. I mean, Razir doesn't ever sleep, so unless it's, I don't know if it's Razir you're trying to.
Well,
hide.
no, it's not. No. I mean,
I know who you're trying to hide it from.
Yeah, exactly.
Sheku, do you eventually go to sleep?
Yeah, and before I do, I remember I picked these spells for a reason. But I don't remember the order to do it with. I'm going to Druidcraft and basically create the buds that I need to prepare my spells while I rest. So I'm going to grow my strains, which are the prepared spells, and start packing up my joints for the night so I can go to sleep and go to war.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just so that you and I are clear, because we didn't actually have that conversation beforehand, all of what you're talking about is going to be strictly flavor, because if it was actual real-world applications, there could be problems with the fact that that's what you're doing, so we're just going to flavor it that way. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And kudos to you for coming up
Thanks.
with something original. Okay. So, I mean, everybody, you do that kind of so everybody can see the fact that you're druid crafting this vine with various things and kind of crushing things and wrapping things and doing whatever you got to do to kind of like stuffing it away, and very, I'm assuming, somewhat organized within your cloak.
Yeah, it has like those little loops. I put my little joints in the little loops so I can just
Like-
pull one out.
Like bullet loops, but for a joint.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay.
And they're glass. Definitely glass for health reasons. We don't want to smoke paper. It's bad for you.
Of course. Yeah. So Sheku eventually goes to sleep. Okay. So, Louise, you and Xanladir find a time where you feel like, for the most part, no one's listening.
Yeah, Zelmodier, I wanted to ask you about the reason we're here, the like teleportation system. Would it have anything to do with that portal that demon, I guess you'd call it, came through?
I don't think so. My research is for a very specific mechanic, an arcane mechanic, if I would be so bold as to say. I don't want to fully reveal all of the details until we've finally arrived where we need to be and I can show you how it works. But I don't think it has anything to do with portals. So what we're going to be doing isn't, well, it isn't portal related exactly. I suppose, anyways, it's very complicated. I'm sure, no offense to you, Xander might understand a little bit better. But it deals with real world physical objects that are placed within another object and allows for a kind of travel. But it isn't an interdimensional portal. That seems to have come from something else.
All right, because I was just worried because he said that he'd come back, and I just wanted to be sure that we weren't the reason he actually was able to come back.
Well, if this individual or monster had access to this technology, if anyone had access to this technology, they would be able to use it the same as we would. But unless they had a very advanced version of what we are going to be retrieving, which I hope that our partnership can continue into the future and we can continue to build upon this mechanism that we're going to be fastening together, then perhaps it will be capable of interdimensional travel. Interplanar travel. But as of right now, I don't believe that'll be the case. So, I know that the Chainless are doing all kinds of experiments. I don't know whether or not this had something to do with it, or if some other reoccurring phenomenon. You're from Nixrunum, right?
Yes.
Well, you know that there's random bits of money and powerful items that just appear out of nowhere amongst the landscape around Nixrunum. Maybe it has something to do with that.
Yes. And just for your information, we did discover a Chainless Lab on the beacon, and what they seem to have been researching was more of a way to create super soldiers, enhanced people. So as far as they are, I don't think we have to worry about them discovering the same technology you're working on. But, yeah.
Right. Well, my understanding is that the Chainless have their hands. If I know anything, and I don't know a whole lot, but if I know anything about the so-called leader of the Chainless, he will have the Chainless fingers dipping in many different goblets, if you know what I mean.
All right. So we'll keep an eye out for that if we come across any other Chainless. And yeah.
I wouldn't count the Chainless out from something here.
All right. I just wanted to check, make sure we were on the same page. And all right.
And do you mind if I ask you a question? How do you
go
feel
ahead.
that Xander, well, who hasn't spoken a whole lot recently, you feel Xander seems to be having quite a bit of trouble with the death of Duke, and while I understand it's a very sad event, seems to be questioning a few things. I heard him and Razir having a conversation earlier, and seems to perhaps have bolstered him a bit, but do you feel that he's going to be able to accomplish what he's intended to do? He seems destined for something.
Usually when he sets his mind to accomplishing something, he goes through with it. But right now, with what happened, I think the reality of the world just kind of hit him real hard, because he was kind of a sheltered kid when we were younger, so he didn't interact much with the outside world until we left Nixruna. So he's still kind of getting used to it. So I think over time he'll be able to adapt.
And
basically,
you weren't sheltered, is what you're saying?
I was, but to a much lesser degree than him. I spent quite a bit of time outside of Nixrunum, the forest surrounding it, and going through the streets and interacting with the peoples of the city.
What would cause two brothers from the same family to have wildly different upbringings like that?
We had different purposes in life.
What does Xander's?
To help the family grow. I'm to basically help him make sure he doesn't doesn't die or anything too bad happens to him.
Sounds very important, with very little set in place for his actual purpose for the future. Protected asset with no intended direction seems interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Perhaps there's more there. Anyways, would that be all?
Yes, just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys bed down for the evening.
As I do.
Mm-hmm.
As I go to the back, and sit with my back against the back wall of the cave, just so I can, from where I'm sitting, without having to move, I can see out the cave. My eyes will light up. And, oh, hold on, wait, hold on, I need to check something. Maybe I don't do this. This might not be a thing I have quite yet. Never mind, I don't do that yet. I don't have it yet.
Because you're not level
Level
5.
Yeah.
Well, 4 hour long rest for him. So he waits 4 hours, then he has it. He can do it while
After
everyone's
4
asleep.
hours, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I get to level up before all of you.
That's funny. Okay, so after 4 hours and leveling up, what do you do?
I'm going to, my eyes will glow a bit brighter, or glow, period, because they don't normally just glow. But they'll start to glow, and I'm casting Detect Magic, because I can just do that at will now.
You can do it at will.
Yo, he's so good.
Warlock
Yeah,
and
Of course you can. Okay. And how long does it last?
I mean, I can keep casting it at will. By default, it's 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So now that I know that that's the thing, I will just clarify with you that if you are not... Now, I'm not asking you to say every 6 seconds that you're using Detect Magic, but we will go through the motions of it being up for 10 minutes, and then... Because I don't want it to be one of those things where you just tell me, well, I just always have Detect Magic up, because that's... No.
I definitely don't.
How that works.
And I mean,
Not all the time.
it's a concentration spell anyway.
In real life, should this have been real life, no one's gonna every 10 minutes of their day stop to detect magic.
Take 6 minutes to cast.
Right. Oh wait, I'm walking
Six
and I'm not
seconds,
detecting magic. What's wrong with me?
Right. So I would just like you to tell me when it is that you are detecting magic, no matter how regular that is, just so we can clarify. So I'm not going to just
whatever
assume.
You need to. Just
Okay. Even though you can't have it up forever, I understand.
Technically, if I wanted to.
Okay.
I could.
Yeah. So you detect magic.
Doing so mainly to check out our new companion, Sheku, see if he's looking right, if he's like completely glowing, like it looks like he's hiding his disguised self or anything like that, or if there's anything particularly noticeable from him just to keep an eye on from this new guy.
This being
And I
relatively...
might listen to everybody while I'm doing this, but mainly...
Okay. It looks like within the bags of Elwyn and Liari, there's some... It's you can see, correct?
Yeah.
I believe he
It's 30
detects
feet.
an aura. Yeah.
You can see the presence of magic within 30 feet. You can you can detect where it is, and then you can focus on. You can if you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and then you learn the school. So I can tell there's something magical. I can like feel like, oh, something over there is magical, and then I can basically use an action to focus on what is magical, which thing is actually giving off this aura of magic. So just at general, I get a feel for magical stuff. If there's stuff in the area that is magical.
I think we're
Okay.
all carrying something magical too.
Well, I'm going to have to brush up on my knowledge of the various schools of magic because, it's always been a challenge for me.
I'm not going to worry about that too much most of the time.
You're going to be using this all the gosh darn time. So,
Yeah, but as far as like the school and stuff, I'm usually like, if I see a magic item, I'm not going to try and figure out what school of magic it is. Usually it's mainly going to be for like traps, or like if a door is magical, I might try and figure out what school it is.
gotcha.
So that'll be
Okay.
a little more selective of what I'm worried about.
So there's a little bit of a ping that hits you within the bags of Elwyn and Liari as they kind of sleep with their heads resting on their packs. Xanladir has several different pings and glows that are on him. One of which is the pocket watch that you've seen him use that he kind of keeps in his breast pocket. He also has an amulet or a necklace with which you've seen before. It's like a caged front to it with a piece inside that has a very strong, extremely strong magical presence to it.
When I see all this glowing stuff, I'm gonna be like, I'm surprised the boy ain't glowing himself, and not worry about the rest of what he's got.
You mean Xanladir specifically?
No, Xander.
No, I said it was Xanladir that had
Xanladir.
this stuff.
Those names are too similar.
Well, I named Xanladir before Jason chose Xander, so
It's Jason's fault.
it is.
Either way, I knew he had magical stuff, so I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
it. Just
so-
he's got magic, they've got magic, seeing what Shinku has.
So looking over
No.
Sheku, I was going to say, what does he sense? Nothing.
There, all my magic has to be casted.
I would say for the sake of flavor, you probably sense a little bit beneath his cloak in the various rolled up or the pocketed items.
that's day.
But yeah,
Alright. And after my long rests, once I've done that, I'm gonna go sit more at the mouth of the cave. Be like, alright, I don't have to worry about this guy being behind my back. I'm gonna go sit at the mouth of the cave to be able to watch out more.
Okay.
While I'm sitting waiting for everybody else.
go ahead and make a perception check for me. What's your passive perception? That's only 16.
Passive is 16, but I rolled a 25.
Yep. Okay.
On my roll.
The crows have returned, and there may even possibly be 100 of them out there at this point that are all scattered amongst the outskirts of the trees on the edge of the clearing across from where you're looking. They're not moving any closer, but the ones that are on the ground kind of pick up and kind of fly a little bit, and as they disperse, a figure comes walking out of the tree line. And within like a blink of an eye, almost like in that movie Cut where you don't actually see the figure moving towards you, they're just all of a sudden right up in front of you. Familiar figure to you.
Howdy.
Don't be partaking in what that one has to offer. I need your mind clear.
Alright. I don't know if he was offering nothing, and I'm not sure what he has to offer would even, who's to say it could even do anything to me. But, alright.
Be that as it may, you should know, if you don't already, that I have an extreme disdain and hatred for anything that would alter one's mind that isn't produced by something I'm providing to you.
Right.
And as such, ones who dabble in such things are outside of my family. Let's put it that way. And if and when the time comes for my hunger to be satiated, I think we've found a prime candidate.
Yeah. We'll have to see, but, he didn't, exactly strike me as one of your friends, so didn't have that, smell about him. Smell of death.
True. Where are you
But
going?
all right, I'll
is-
keep my hand his plants or whatever.
One other thing. Where you're going, now that we're within a close enough proximity, I know that you're going to be discovering some information. And that information, I don't want it to cause you to question our future.
Look, that's one thing you don't got to worry about. Our interests are aligned, as we have talked about so many times. Our goals are one and the same. I got one goal in mind. That is that's getting back for him, getting him back, getting to
Wow.
getting revenge.
He just like frowns and just like stares at you as you're trying to think of what you're trying to say. I
You
don't
already
know.
got him.
I don't envy you the mind you have to deal with. However, it is a mind I have to deal with as well. But just keep your eyes open.
Always do.
And he like literally just doesn't say anything else, walks over to the edge of the giant cave opening and just jumps down and disappears into the darkness. No sound at all. As he jumps down, there, with your roll of 25 perception, there's something you hear that you hadn't heard before. Amidst the ruckus, amidst the conversation, the crackling of the fire, trying to keep warm despite the fact that it's dark in this area, although I don't think that's necessarily something you have to worry about. There's a bit of a crashing sound. Very, very faint. Sounds like it's emanating from within the cave itself. Like the sound of 100 pieces of shrapnel. Yep, there we go. Kind of collide, like almost like colliding together, like something crashes and then stops, and you hear the very faint like ting 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 of something's falling, and then a few seconds later happens again, but it's very, very, very faint, coming from within the cave. And it, as you sit there and look out into the distance, and the crows continue to eye the very faint light coming from the cave itself, you continue to hear that sound. Now that you've heard it, you can't unhear it necessarily, and it just keeps happening every few seconds. And it eventually becomes background noise, and you enjoy the rest of your evening with these sounds behind you. And everyone completes a long rest.
Right.
What am I at a minus? Am I at the minus modifier? Do I have that?
You started
minus
at
3.
Now you're at -3 because you started at -4. Now you have a long rest. So
Hooray! I'm gonna be so
literally-
useful.
attacks, ability checks, saving throws,
That's it. Yeah.
-3. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Permanently baned.
Pretty annoying.
Lesser
Basically.
is it less restoration that does it or greater?
Vision's greater.
Either way.
Helpful.
Greater.
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
Greater does specifically say you can remove a point of exhaustion.
Oh, there
Level
you
of
go.
exhaustion.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not technically exhaustion.
It's not exhaustion technically.
Right.
It's because of the
Is it-
resurrection.
Just a flat.
It's the same rules as exhaustion in 1D&D, but not in 5e.
I would rule that greater restoration would bring you back to full. From
But then again, that's a 5th level spell.
Yeah, we're not there.
I'm just.
I had a
Well,
question.
maybe the followers of Zill can help me.
I have a question about using a sling and stones. Should I be?
And how trash it is, you mean?
Well, no. Should I have an inventory of stones on me, or since we're in a cave, can I just pick them up as we go?
I would imagine.
How would you like to?
We're definitely keeping track of ammo, so there's that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna.
You'd have a little sling switch to cast your magic stone on,
Yep.
and then you can pick them up between battles and stuff.
Figure out how to add them.
So you wake up the next morning. The sun hasn't gotten to a point where it's illuminated really any of the landscape around you at this point, because you're literally camping inside of Epoch's Chain right now, and it's still dark out, but you know that it's morning time. The landscape now getting somewhat of a better view just because of the glow of the sun, even though it's not directly beating on the area, is just a blackened, burnt landscape, almost as though like Dragon's Breath had just completely fried everything around and turned it into a charcoal mess. The trees, although not having fallen over, look like they could be pushed over by sneezing on them. The leaves have left most of the trees, and the ones that are remaining are like a permanent fixture of the ends of the branches of them. There's very little in the way of underbrush. There are boulders around, but they are scarred and blackened. The side of the mountain that you're staying in now, which you couldn't really see the color of necessarily, except for those who have true sight. I don't know if that shows you color or not, but is also darkened. And a well-trained eye looking at this, someone who's trained in survival, would know that this is probably not the burning breath of a dragon, but some kind of decay that is giving a similar effect to the space around. The fact that the creatures that you fought the night previously were decomposing at such a rapid rate, unlike anything else that is alive that you've encountered previously, leads you to believe that they were probably some form of undead and have now turned into sludge on the ground the next morning.
For those who would know, is this area like always like it next to Epoch's Chain, or is this like a odd thing?
As far as anyone remembers, this is how this has been.
Okay.
There are no records previous to it being like this.
Okay, so this is not a new thing. This is just how it is in this area. Okay.
I just
The
remembered
premier
something.
vacation destination.
I just remembered something. When we got those magical items like the book, the scepter, the amulet, stuff like that. You said that they level up kind of when we reach
they
fifth
sure
level.
do. They sure do. You're right.
That's right.
Is 5
Oh, it might be
one of
time
the
to
thresholds?
reshuffle those.
It is
Oh, it's 5
time.
I thought it was 7.
Level 5 is the first
Hey!
one. Oh boy.
Yay!
Let me pull those up real quick here.
Let's
What was it,
go.
like 5, 11, 17, something like that?
Oh, now it needs
Big.
attunement.
I'm looking.
Milestones?
There they are.
While he does that, Alex, I'd give you the food for now. It's 3 temp HP,
Oh, snap.
Yeah. and I guess
I'll take it.
Drell, do you want some?
Okay.
Yeah, it's 3 temp HP.
Right. Delicious.
Tasty snack.
You didn't previously put the other tiers in the descriptions, right?
No, he didn't.
Okay.
How do we attune to a custom item though? Does it matter?
I don't know if you can.
I
You'd have to,
haven't added them
you'd have
to
to, like-
D&D Beyond because I don't know how to do that properly.
yeah, you'd have to
Just,
make them in D&D Beyond and all that stuff. Just remember your slots. Dude.
Yeah, just remember.
Easy peasy.
And don't
What are the
cheat.
odds you're gonna get 3 other
Okay.
attune required items?
So, well,
I have one.
don't know. You're about to go into a dungeon. Who knows? Anyways, by the way, it's 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, I guess I will start copy pasting. Who has the Healer's Hand amulet?
I do.
I'm going to put it in Zoom chat, I guess. Does that work?
Oh, yeah,
Or
that
do you want
works.
to put it in
Discord
Discord
chat,
chat?
you can put it in. If you put it in Discord, we'd have access to it after We're done in case we need
Okay,
it.
I'm opening Discord. Yeah, this will take a minute of our time to do this, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, cool item stuff.
I'd say it's worth it so we don't die.
You know what? I'm going to repost from the beginning to its new info. That way it's kept.
Yeah.
Just copy over the entire thing.
So that is for the healer's hand amulet.
Oh, fancy.
Okay. So you can just. Are you putting a little thing in between them? Okay. Sounds good. Who has the blood moon orb?
No, I don't.
It was Zender. He gave it to me, but I'm pretty sure I gave it back to him.
Oh, right, because you're talking about whether or not you could have the orb attached to your belt and still have
get
it
a dark
effective.
vision, yeah.
And then I said duct tape it to your forehead. Okay, so this is the blood moon orb.
Oh, neat. Spells.
Wait a second. We're going to have to edit that by the light of the moon because that is a spell that is not in...
Custom spell.
It's a custom spell that is not in D&D Beyond. That's not going to come into play here, as I also don't have that readily accessible because I'm the most prepared DM that ever was.
Totally.
We may actually just replace that with something else. It's probably what we're going to do. I should have already done that.
I don't have channel divinity yet either. Who?
Okay. Who has the
Two
Sovereign
more
Scepter?
levels before I get channel divinity.
I do
Razir has Sovereign Scepter. Okay.
for now. It was the only one that did anything for me, and it was the leftover one.
Are we gonna have to attune to these on the next long rest, or is it a short rest you can attune to something?
Short rest.
Okay.
Well,
You're
So that's a pretty neat one.
Advantage against spells.
Okay. I know that Louise has the Wanderer's book.
Yep.
Neat.
Look at that.
Double proficiency. That's always exciting.
Yep.
And you can cast Identify
That's also exciting.
once per day.
Awesome.
Okay. And so then that means that Thrall has the Wolf's Howl Ring.
Yes.
All right, here we go. We'll see what Donnie's face is when he reads this.
Oh
my
snap.
oh my god.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. Interesting.
Thrall's going to be a direwolf now.
Wow.
I am the mount.
You have a direwolf riding a warg.
Oh, poor Jason.
Does that make sense?
Why is he saying that's so cold?
Because we're getting these new things and he's not here.
Well,
Yeah.
Maybe he should.
Maybe he shouldn't have a social life, as I've been told before.
Okay. So, yes, you get these new features, which are awesome. Adam, remember how we always talked about wanting items that leveled up with you?
Yep.
Well, that you understand what's happening right now, right? There-
Yeah. Which is like I think Magic said that's so cold for me, not for him. it's in my honor. That's really cool.
I don't even know if he knows you're here. Maybe.
Oh, he does.
Oh yeah, he knows. Okay, so while you guys contemplate that,
I think I'll hold on to the scepter.
yeah,
I'll hold on to the book because it's the only one that doesn't require me to hold it. Yes.
Yeah, that's yes, you can hold on to that if you want to. Absolutely. You know, when putting that item in the game, I didn't think about its implications until you just said what you just said. So that's interesting.
Which one?
The scepter that you're going to hold on to. I didn't realize what its implications would mean. So now I do. That's a very interesting plot point that we will have to at some point address.
I don't think it would interfere at all. It's not actual. Yeah.
You,
I don't think
yep,
it's an issue.
sure.
Are you
Okay.
good aligned?
Guess we'll have to wait and find out.
For the attunement, you need to be good.
Wait, what? Oh.
Yeah.
Is Razir good? No, he's not. There's no way that Razir has a good alignment.
It's
Okay.
debatable.
So you won't be able to use that feature unless you attune to it and if your alignment is good. So you can't use that feature. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, you said I couldn't use Shillelagh with the scepter, right?
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because you said it's not a quarterstaff.
Does
Or
Shillelagh
club.
require a quarterstaff?
It's either a quarterstaff or a club. It says.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a wood. Made out of wood. Pretty sure it's
Not
not
just
made
a
out of
staff.
wood, that one.
So I mean,
It's a
it
rod.
definitely counts as a bludgeoning weapon, but if the thing specifically says it requires a wooden object, then
Yeah.
this is definitely not wood.
All right.
So, yep. Sorry.
That's all right.
Guess Razir's gonna have to do some thinking, or not.
I guess the orb is meant for me.
Wait, would that give you 150 feet of your devil
Does
sight?
that with Devil Sight, Tim?
The blood moon orb is 100% meant for you. Absolutely.
Right. So are you then ruling that the extra dark vision just extends my Devil Sight?
It doesn't double it. It says that it increases by
Extend
30
by 30.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, extends.
He's got 150 feet of dark
Yes,
vision.
exactly.
Okay. Well, then I'll
I
show-
hand chose from a list of 30 items that I thought would be specifically applicable. Now, some of those assumptions were based on their later properties, which you don't even know what they are yet. You will find out. And then probably they'll go to who they're supposed to go to.
I mean, we could give the book to Jason, to Zender. He'd have plus 11, basically all the intelligence skills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Tim.
Yep.
I should probably let you know now for my feature because in my feat, because Eric told me we get feats. I took alert. The flavor text is that since my character's always high, he's always paranoid. But
Be right back.
Okay.
just so you know, I can't be surprised while I'm conscious. Before we go into the dungeon, if I would say that, and also for a cantrip, I did take mold earth.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's important for me to know because it is something that
Let's-
may come into. Let's
Lets
use
me
mold earth.
shape earth, and we're going into a dungeon, so I know what you plan for like terrain stuff, but I can just shape the
Pretty sure
terrain.
Yeah, but you still can't do it with like stone and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure.
It's loose
Yeah, it's
earth.
loose. Dirt and stuff. So if it's a fully stone,
It's
Cave.
stone too. Is it?
Dirt on the
Alright.
stone. Does clay count as dirt?
Choose a portion of dirt
it's
or
it's
stone.
loose.
Hey, dirt or stone that you can see within
Ooh,
range if it's 5 feet.
or stone.
Right.
And then the next
'Cause
part
that's just
says,
for
if you
the
target an
minerals.
area of loose earth, you can instantly excavate it,
Earth
so you
you can
can't move
excavate.
stone.
On the stone, you can
Make it difficult terrain.
Make it
or
difficult
make it easy
terrain.
terrain.
Sure.
or do the drawing thing.
But you can't like pick up big old rocks.
It's a cantrip, so it's not designed to be super powerful, but it has its uses.
I think for now, I'm gonna let Xander hold on to the orb so he doesn't lose dark vision when we're going into the cave. No, he picked up
wouldn't-
Devil's
No,
Sight.
yeah,
Give
he has
that.
Devil's Sight.
I'll trade with him now. Hopefully.
And I'm sure Jason would be happy to have an advantage on all his save against spells.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can't get that. 'Cause I'm not in good alignment.
I think I intended for the scepter to be for Louise. Healer's Hand Amulet's obviously for Duke. The Blood Moon Orb is for Razir. Wanderer's Book is obviously for Xander. And then what was the other item? Yeah,
The
the
ring?
Wolf's Howl ring, which is what
Yeah.
Donnie or Thrall has, that was definitely meant
Obviously.
for Thrall, obviously.
Yeah.
So at least he has the item he was intended to have.
It's basically just me and Xander who switched. But I mean, at this point, I'd rather he have the book because he'd get a much higher usage out of it than I would, especially with the entombment. But yeah. And I mean, I don't mind giving to him because now I also have the Goggles of Night, so I have a magic item as well.
I'm looking at some of the 9th level. Yep. Oh man, that's so perfect.
I mean, could I hold the rod in my hand and have the shield strap on on my arm?
No.
Oh,
Yeah. The only 9th level. I'm saying this out loud now so that Donnie can hear it. The Wolf's Howl Ring level 9 upgrade isn't great. Everybody else's is phenomenal, but the level 13 and 17 Wolf's Howl Ring are broken. So you just have to.
To be fair, the level 5 one gives him a 5th level spell usage.
Yeah.
Of
Right.
course.
But I
Like,
5th
Not the
level
9th
spell,
It's
but
not
it
good.
is.
The
What am
ninth-
I
How
gonna
good
use
is a
it?
dire wolf actually?
the
Wait, is polymorph
9th
dead?
level
Or is it-
upgrade. I don't know.
Yeah, it's only a dire wolf. You can only do
What
it.
am I going to use it? What am I going to tell?
I mean,
Whatever.
it's 37 free HP. You have back tactics.
It's
Your
basically
attacks-
like a wild shape.
Yeah, your attacks do 2d6 plus 3 damage.
Oh.
Not bad.
Maybe it has like an uh-oh button.
Yeah.
I've returned.
I'm so excited for Donnie to get the 17th level Wolf's Howl Ring.
I want to know.
You either
It's-
have a
Very focused.
focus or
we have a
a
long,
component
long,
pouch.
long way to go, Donnie, before we get there.
Um, unless the spell says there's a specific cost,
Who-
then you have to actually have.
Who's ready to dungeon?
It'll say.
Dungeon.
I'd say I am.
This is Dungeons and Dragons after all, right? So
Not
These two
all
will be-
And encountered a
Dragon.
dragon, so we need to do dungeons.
we haven't encountered a dragon yet.
If you have a focus, that's covered.
That's was
Might
covered.
change the name to Dungeons with Dragons.
As long as there's no listed cost, you can do it with a spell focus or component.
Dungeons or dragons?
Dungeons or Dragons. Dungeons that specifically have dragons.
It'll specifically
Dungeons
say
that
cost.
may or may not include a dragon depending on the day.
I'll do this right now. I give the book to Xander.
Okay. I'm gonna put this.
Are we switching the orb and the scepter then? Getting everybody to their
Well, I
intended
mean,
item?
it's not. Someone else might as well take the scepter other than me, because to get the effects, I think you need to hold it.
Yeah,
Or
you
what-
do.
Yeah,
You
and
could just take off your shield and dual wield.
That's
yeah, but
terrible.
I'd rather have +2 AC than scepter. Yeah, well, this is while holding or carrying the scepter.
Wait, what?
Yes, it says that. Sovereign Scepter, the third line, Sovereign Protection requires human. As your level increases, you get the following benefits while holding or carrying the scepter.
Oh.
That changes a lot.
The base level thing of countering the crit, you have to be holding it.
Yeah.
But for the 5th level feature, it just has to be on your person. There you go.
That's more convenient.
Yeah, so you don't get the critical hit benefit.
We'll just get him some adamantine armor at some point, and you won't have to worry about him anyways.
Yeah. Give me a adamantine half blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll do the swap then.
Yeah.
Blood, moon, orb.
Yeah, I don't want to get hit very much. Armor class is 13.
None of us want to.
Your armor class is 13? Oh no.
Well, he has a
I mean-
0 dex modifier.
I mean, Zender does have 11 AC if he doesn't have mage armor on.
Yeah.
Which, going off what Jason usually does, I'd assume Zender would cast at the start of the day.
Yeah.
Which
How
brings his
long does
AC up
mage armor
to
take to cast?
14.
14.
Yeah.
I think mage
Down
armor
there
is
for-
an action, isn't it?
We're down there.
It
for more than
is,
8
but
hours.
it lasts for 8 hours. Yeah.
That's 8
Right.
hours, yeah.
Okay. So somebody, Felix, you're managing Xander, so just go ahead
Yep.
and remember that.
Yeah. And I realized whilst we were like taking the long rest, I could actually change this character sheet on Forge. So yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's how I'll be keeping track of the different stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys all wake up in the morning. The other NPCs that are there, Elowen and Liari, just kind of make a very simple breakfast for themselves and offer to give you, it's like some ground, some kind of meal, like oatmeal or something in these little cups, just kind of spooning, kind of offer you a couple helpings. They're cooking them around the fire, and they're out kind of keeping watch around the perimeter, and Zanladir kind of nods to everybody. All right, I guess this is it. Does everyone feel comfortable? You ready? You have all the... I mean, I know you used some of your health potions earlier, just trying to get out of that terrible battle with the broken down tower. Are we sure that we're ready to go and do this?
I have a question. I don't feel great. I am yo estoy muy cansado. Do your friends perhaps have a way to make me feel better or restore me? I don't know how much help I can actually be right now. I'm more than willing to go, but I don't want to hold anyone back.
Their services are not going to be come free of charge. I may be able to help out in that regard, Duke. I understand you look worse for wear, despite the fact that you've had a good night's rest. Would you make a deal with me?
I suppose.
You convince the rest of the group to come along with me to find the next fragment I'll be looking for after we're done here, for free, if I help you now. Of course, it's not including whatever, loot and things that are found within whatever the next dungeoning adventure there is, but just, the actual payment for being my bodyguards and the travel there and within. Do you think you can do that?
I can certainly talk to them. When would we depart for this next segment of your search?
I have a good amount of research to do before I'm ready to embark on such a thing. Could be weeks.
Then yes, I think I can certainly try.
I think that once you all realize what it is we're actually dealing with, this technology that I've discovered, assuming it's actually here, I'm sure it's here. Once we find it, that's all that'll be on your minds, and we need to make sure that that information doesn't go anywhere else. But I believe that they'll be willing. I just want to make sure before I put forth any additional funds that the next journey could be a little less taxing on my purse, as it were.
I think that is a fair trade. I will do my part.
We talk to them now.
Absolutely, of course. Excuse me. And then I step away to the group and I kind of motion everyone. Well, are people kind of standing together? Or?
Everybody's kind of just kind of putting their packs on, getting ready, like in front of this large ridge that drops down like 80 or 90 feet, which at this point, Razir, I know, can see to the bottom, and that's fine. I don't care. Could have before, anyways. But yeah, everybody's kind of standing around, just kind of ready to go down.
All right, I kind of move towards everyone and motion them to go. Mis amigos, I have spoken to Xanladir, and he has a proposition for us.
What?
Well, your directness is greatly appreciated. He wants to know if we would be interested in helping him following this excursion, perhaps to find his next item on his list. Honestly, the offer comes at bringing me back, or at least helping me to feel more like myself. I am still very tired, and
Yeah, you look like you could use another sleep or 2 or 3.
I could sleep at least 3 days before I felt better. I guarantee you that. At least 3. But I mean, if we are already in for a penny, we might as well go in for a pound. But his catch is that he would not. If we are in for an egg, we might as well go in for a chicken. Yeah,
That's better.
But he says the catch is that he would not pay us in gold the next time. Items still, but no gold this time, to help him reduce costs of his labors of love.
Well, I mean, as raiders, our main job is to find items of importance in old ruins. So, I mean, that would honestly wouldn't bother me as much because that's our job. So
It aligns with our interests, and
Exactly,
it also
yeah.
I agree. And besides, I think our agreement this time was a bit more. He's paying us a bit more for expediting his offer as far as what we were going to be pursuing right away, rather than getting us to do it. I think we were intending on helping him out, but his timetable, he wanted it done sooner rather than later. I think that was a bit more why we took the gold for it. Either way, my vote is I agree with this proposition. If he's willing to hire us already, before we even delved into this place, I feel good enough working with him again.
I'll also forego my gold in the next mission, man. Make you feel better.
Oh, right, you're still here.
I appreciate that. Your word, I'm sure, is your bond, and so thank you very much.
You
Oh,
know,
you're
all
welcome.
the-
I'm not going to be doing it with you anyway, probably.
all the gold in the world ain't gonna help the caravans anyway. So yeah, I'm just here for the items.
Well, then I guess this works out. He did say, though, that it would be perhaps weeks before he took off on this next adventure, so we would have time to pursue other things before.
I think that works out just fine.
All right, I will relay this information to him, and hopefully he can bring me at least back to 50% of my normal self. I feel like I am, at least, if it was a scale of -1 to a -4, I am at like a -3. So
That's pretty
So-
rough.
you're 3/4 of the way there.
I am 3/4 of the way there. Thank you. You are correct, Luis. And then I go back to Xanladir and I relay the information.
Okay. He nods, like reaches out to shake your hand.
I shake it.
Right. Takes a few steps over to Eluin. They have a couple of words with each other, and Zanladir like takes off his pack and kind of opens up a pocket and rummages through, realizes it's not the right pocket, and buttons it back up and flips it back over, goes into another pocket, and you see him take out a pouch, kind of jingling with money, and hands it over to Elwyn. And Elwyn just kind of gives him a look like, and then makes his way, Elwyn does, over to you. I heard you're tired. May I?
Very tired.
Places his hand on your shoulder and kind of bows his head, kind of whispers a few words under his breath, and you feel this warm energy wash over your entire body. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Okay. Bloop. Bloop. That's a 2. Trash. I'm so
Okay.
good at rolling things.
Okay.
Oof.
As the warmth kind of flows through your body, you feel significantly better than you had previously. However, you do still have -1 to all of your rolls.
I'll take it.
And I asked you to roll a d10 out of complete and total fairness, and you rolled a 2.
You're dead.
That's hilarious. You could have been at a +7.
Not good, man.
You could have been
Man.
supercharged.
I'm trying to keep it fair for everyone. So.
Right. Now, about the thing you mentioned, Zanladir, with regards to readiness to go. We're all rested up and whatnot, and thank you for the help with our friend, I say over to Elwyn. We are ready to go as far as resources for healing. Outside of what Duke's got on hand, and I think Louise, you got a little bit yourself.
Yeah, I do.
Outside of that, I don't think we have much else. So, Mr. Shaku, we haven't really discussed about the skills you bring to the table. Do you happen to just... Here's hoping. You happen to bring any restoration or recovery abilities to the table?
Just herb.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but if that works for you. What do you do then?
Well, it's not just any old herb, man. It's that good stuff. Matter of fact,
Not sure what that means.
that's how I cast.
Oh, you're a magic type.
Yes, I am.
Well, what kind of magics do you cast?
Well, as I look around to each and every one of you, I'm gonna stop at then. Well, I wish I could do a whole lot more healing, but pretty much just kind of help people stay alive, man. Help you keep doing your thing. But when I get angry, I let the wolf out. You know what I'm saying?
Not sure I do, but
I also have no idea.
if magic's what you got, you're doing quite well here.
All right.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see firsthand, because the words you're saying ain't meaning nothing to me.
You're an interesting character.
And that's coming from this group.
You're quite the interesting group yourselves. I'm kind of excited to see what we get into down there.
Right, and just so that you know, when it comes to the group dynamic with regards to what we do when fighting happens, good number of us stay back. Bright Eyes and Lou here, they tend to get up front and personal, and Freckles over there, pointing to Thrall, she does a little bit of both. Myself and the boy, we tend to stay back. I'm not sure what kind of magic man you are, but that's about what we do.
Sometimes I'm in the front. Sometimes I'm in the back.
I make
Alright.
a holy symbol in front of me.
Ay, Dios mío.
Adios.
That's amazing.
Alright.
Okay.
You bring any climbing equipment then? Seeing as how you weren't planning on coming this way.
Well, I didn't really plan on climbing in the first place, but got an explorer's pack with me and a few chicks up my sleeve, and I'm just gonna. I'd like to mold the earth in front of me, and just to make a step, and then another step, and then another step. And just walk up 3 steps and turn around. Also, I have my chicks.
What do you do?
He is very interesting.
But of course, I'm sorry. Before I even do that, I have to pull out one of my glass joints and light that sucker up first. And I blow smoke down in front of me to raise the steps up.
That's pretty sweet.
Much better.
Also,
That's
it's a
much
cantrip, so I don't know if you have to have one for each cantrip that you do that you can cast at will constantly. You just have
Giant
infinity.
pouch.
Yeah.
filled
A
with cantrips.
whole lot of weed. Well,
Or you
technically,
made yourself a fancy little thing that's more like stone rock saturated with something.
they do have stone pipes.
It's something more like that where it's more of a reusable, less potent effect.
Yeah, you
Yep.
just got to recharge it, plug it, just got to micro USB. Anyways. Yeah, so you guys stand at the precipice of this entrance, the cave mouth. I mean, you guys are on the map, or some of you are. It's about 40, 50 feet wide, and the opening is probably like 80 feet tall. So the actual roof of it is really high above you, but it like goes inwards to the point where you can see the opposing wall. I know this map doesn't really show that because it's hard to do a top-down map that shows that, but that the roof that's there, this roof here, is like 80 feet in the air, and so you can see the stone wall directly across, and it's just an opening that's in the
So it's a
ground.
big open cave, but instead of going back, it just drops.
Correct. Yep.
Cool.
It's probably about 20 to 30 feet across, and then just descends downwards. With Razir, as you kind of get to the top and look over the precipice and downwards, it is just a jagged in places, smooth in others, but it is at least a 90-degree just drop straight down. You can see the floor. It looks like gravel and not smooth stone, but kind of uneven textures to it. And even from your perspective, you can see that there are 3 cave openings down at the bottom. One that leads directly north, I guess, or straight ahead. Like if you were to go straight down directly in front, there's a pathway, and there's one that leads kind of off to the left and one that leads kind of off to the right. So once you eventually get down there, you'll have 3 choices of those openings to go through. You do still hear that noise kind of echoing out through the space of things crashing together. It's never stopped.
Right. So, a couple things I want to mention to the group as we proceed here. First of all, I can see the bottom. It's about 100 feet, a little less than that. So I think we brought enough rope to be able to scale this. We just have to find ourselves an anchor point. So there's that. Second of all, them birds been around all night again. There's 100 of them, 100 plus again this time. So what'd you say, Bright Eyes? It was a legion or something? They're his emissaries or
Yes.
whatever it was.
Yes.
So he's got his eye on something around here. What's he the god of?
Death, honestly.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well,
No, probably not, but
maybe it's this area. Maybe it's because we're near epochs, but there's a lot of them. Third of all, while I was keeping watch overnight and things got real quiet in the dead of night, I started to hear some stuff from the cave, and I've been hearing it since. There's some sort of imagine like, well, I don't know if none of y'all have been to the ocean, but it's like waves crashing, but instead of water, it's like a bunch of like metal hitting stuff. It's some sort of crashing sound. It's been pretty ongoing. So there's something down there in one of them 3. Oh, there's 3 cave paths to go to down there. I don't know if you have any idea here, Zanladir, which way we're going once we get down there, but
Funny you should say that. I had been waiting until this moment to show you this, it's relatively less important because, things change as mountains are literally erected from nothingness out of the ground and others are forced underground and tectonic plates and things kind of shift around and whatnot. So, he pulls out a map. He has this pretty large book that he has lots of notes scribbled in, flips through several pages, and part of it folded in between the pages, there's a map, and it is a map of the Rising Requiem Museum. And there's notes and scrawls all over it and points to a couple different notations. And see, the thing is, I've not been down there myself, but I've delved or at least researched other ruin excavations, and I know that these things don't stand the test of time. They don't stand the apocalypses that our world has been through. They're ripped apart and put back together, and there's bits and pieces and rooms disheveled all over the place, and so this isn't really reliable. But I know that there's probably a central chamber. There's other chambers that sprout off from it, or there should be, or there probably were at some point, that functioned as various showrooms for statues and heroic weapons and perhaps some paintings and other things that can be found there. There are also storage rooms and some kind of underground basement type scenario. I'm assuming that their large glass dome that peaked the top of this main central chamber is probably destroyed at this point and caved in. Who even knows if the central chamber is accessible? What I can tell you is that there were notes specifically made by the architect of this particular structure, which I did recover some of his notes, that there are many unmarked secrets. Apparently he was a man of tricks and traps, and so whoever the original denizens were, or whoever it was that had it built, which remains unrecorded, commissioned it to be as such, where there's just things hidden here and there. So besides making a beeline, I don't know what dangers await us down there, but I will say that just keep an eye out and look carefully while running from whatever monsters it is that chase us. So,
all right, so we got a general idea of where we're going. Then, once we get down there, we'll have to check the map every once in a while to get an idea of where we're going. All right, well, anybody else got anything before we get ready to head down?
No, I think it is time to earn our keep.
So for functional purposes, if there are survival checks required to navigate this underground space, despite it perhaps being totally blown apart, does provide a +1 to survival checks made underground in this ruin.
Just like the map I got from one of the
ruins of Paraba. Which is what you have, I believe. That's funny. So I just wanted to clarify, the opening at the top is 40 by 20 or 30 feet across, right? Descends downwards. It actually opens up larger as it descends downwards, to the point where the chamber at the bottom is actually probably about maybe 80 feet across and maybe about 50 feet from front to back. And so you can still, from your perspective, see down on an angle and see where those caves are, but it's definitely a larger chamber down below that you're descending down into. But yeah, the descent awaits you.
I would like to form a step. I'm going to like to use mold earth to create a lump of stone to the edge, and then just grab on it with both hands, and then just ride it down to the bottom. Because I can move the earth along the ground. And so I'll just ride that along.
You can move it 5. You can move it 5 feet every 6 seconds.
It's a lot of hanging.
So you'd,
it's all set.
And then after you let go of the cantrip, all of that loose dirt would crumble and fall down into the cave. So that's a pretty creative thought process if there was a way to contain the dirt and not have it fall beneath you.
Steps. Could I do steps?
Not with the way the cave, because it's the big opening, and then it like the walls like open up. It's like we're going down into a bell. Got a loss of wall.
How
So I
how
can
deep
create-
did we say the cave was?
Like 90 feet.
I could create a 5-foot block, right,
mean-
on the outside, on the top, and then just do another one, and just
It
step
won't-
my
it
way
won't
down.
stick.
So, just again to further clarify, it doesn't open up like a bell on the side that you're standing on. It's only outwards away from you. It's still flat
Okay. Flat,
downwards.
but out.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll
I figured a
I'll-
way to walk down the wall by moving the rocks beneath my feet, work my way down, or ride the same block down like an elevator. That was my idea.
It's 90 feet down, and I have 200 feet of rope.
yeah, we kind of over
You could
prepared
just
with the
You
rope.
could just rappel.
Yeah.
We have plenty of rope.
That works too. Excuse me
Too
for
much
trying to be
rope.
creative, guys.
We have
Yeah, I have 50 feet.
I like your
Simplest
spirit.
solution.
I do too.
Thank you.
And I think it's very creative.
That was cool.
But I think
This
that
was
is a
cool.
little bit of an overextension of that cantrip.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, just making some staircases down would be super cool.
Super cool.
And still, I'm guessing the sides are made of stone, not dirt.
Right. Which is why I said when the cantrip ends after
We
6
lost
seconds,
internet.
No, you
Oh.
just. Right.
found your die.
Foundry die. I'm.
What?
Oh.
Adam just
My
said we
foundry's
lost
up.
internet.
Yeah, Zoom was being a little wonky for a few
Still
seconds.
is.
We could see you perfectly fine and hear you
Yep.
perfectly fine. Okay.
It was
So,
a brief blip.
How is everybody getting down there?
I'm gonna repel with the rope.
Yeah, and I was checking for how much my bear would weigh, and I checked the different bears they are that are on D&D Beyond, and the only medium one is black bear. So I googled how much does a black bear weigh. It says between
100
130 to 660 pounds.
Yeah.
Does it have a climb speed though?
It
'Cause could
does.
Probably
Yeah,
40
it
feet.
does. But then it's still climbing. Like I'm guessing it has a climb speed to like climb on like trees and stuff like that, not necessarily stone.
Climbing speed's a
Yeah.
climbing speed, in my opinion, depending
it
on
is.
if it's
Yeah,
something
alright.
that I would determine.
Also-
you can just ask.
Also,
Take a look at it.
some bears climb up to like rocky mountain areas,
Yeah.
so like they've
Yeah,
got
alright.
They come up the rocks.
the wall's not completely smooth all the way down. So
I would just
Oh,
have your
alright.
bear make a athletics check on the way
Athletics.
down.
Alright.
I'm assuming you guys are taking a really long time to tie this rope around this boulder. I don't know what's taking
We're-
so long with
we're-
this conversation,
just
but
we tied the rope, Tim. There you go. We're done. We're
Okay.
moving on. There you go. No more.
Okay.
No more.
Tie
I'm a
the
Boy
rope.
Scout.
Through.
I'm a Boy Scout. I don't know how to do knots. We're good.
okay.
Got
Yeah, we find the closest anchor point.
pitons. You make anchor points.
That too.
There you go. All right, everybody, as you descend on the rope and you're looking down, I'm sure that Razir consistently is looking downwards to keep an eye out for anything that may be below. Which, it's a strenuous thing rappelling down the 90 feet on just rope. You don't have like harnesses and stuff. It's just hand over hand, putting your feet against it and making sure everybody gets down. I will say,
Got a climbing kit.
I'm going to ask for. I'm going to make this into this kind of challenge. I'm going to ask for whatever check you want to secure the rope up above, and you have pitons as part of your climber's kit. Somebody has a
Yeah.
climber's kit.
And
Yeah,
a harness. And
I think
gloves.
we got
And boot
3 of
tips.
them.
Okay. Make a dexterity or strength check with advantage, and I will have this be Threll helping Louise.
All right. Can't it be the other way around? I know Trell has a higher dex than me.
Oh no. Okay.
Ooh.
It's a 12.
Dexterity saving
Okay.
check, you said?
No. This is just for. Well, why did
Just
Threll
them.
make it? I asked
don't
for. I asked for Louise to make it. That's what I asked for specifically.
I was hoping.
Louise said,
Gosh,
"Boy
you're the
Scouts,
worst,
I know
Don.
how to
Alright,
tie a knot.
Do you want to use those rolls, or do you want me to roll?
I want you to roll."
Let me roll, alright?
Mike would be better than a 12. I believe in you.
No.
Hey,
So
yeah.
we should definitely go with Thrall's rolls, seeing as how they rolled first. You like to do that.
Wait.
The-
I just realized, what's it called?
Guidance.
Chrono Shift. Reroll.
Oh, guidance. Guidance. Also,
He would not- I
guidance.
don't-
I'm a cleric. I can guidance.
No, I won't use the Chrono Shift.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was only going to determine whether or not you had advantage or disadvantage on all of your athletics check in descending the ropes down to the bottom. So now this is just going to be a straight roll. No more skill checks after this. We'll see what comes of this. Just a single
I will
roll
do-
for a 90-foot descent on a rope that is fixed with pythons and relatively fixed at the top.
I'll do guidance on Xander.
Alright.
We could just go one at a time, and you could guidance all of us.
Oh yeah, one at a time then. I say, come to the edge. I will pray to the gods for your safe descent.
One at a time. Okay. Who's going first?
Better safe than sorry, Tim.
I mean,
I'm trying to ruin our
realistically, I
dreams.
don't want to load 6 people onto a single hempen rope.
Absolutely not.
With a
Sure.
few pythons all holding it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
it's still going to
we'll
be.
definitely go one at a time.
I
The
think
single anchor point.
if that's the case, then I think that either Louise or Thrall goes first because one of them was helping up top and one of them was doing pythons on the way down. Pitons, whatever they're called.
Hitting pythons.
Piton,
the kid up
python.
first. Down first.
So Louise.
As they step up, I make a holy symbol, and as I push my hand through the circle I draw in the air, a light emits from my hand, and I just push it onto Louise's chest, and he
Push
glows
him off the
faintly.
edge.
Go with God.
Off you go.
The gods will guide you!
This is
Alright.
how we get advantage.
Here, let me
Vas
get
con
this.
Dios.
Alright, so athletics, right?
This is athletics. Yep,
With guidance. Don't
with
forget that.
guidance.
So I'll
Don't
do
fall 90
4.
feet. Oh no.
Oh, biscuits.
10!
Oh,
Once again
10.
with a 10.
Okay, 10. You're okay.
Okay, alright.
Yep, you're okay. So it's slow going, and there's a bit where like one of your feet kind of slips off one of the rocks and kind of like slam against the rocks for a second, and but you eventually hand over hand make your way down, and you hear the crunch of your feet hit the gravel beneath them, and you are now in a dark, vacuous space with the sound of almost like what sounds like heavy breathing with moisture coming from one of the tunnels directly across from you, directly descended. And then off to the left, you can very clearly hear the sound that Razir described earlier of crashing metal.
I know what's going on here. So you know how alligators will swallow rocks to help break up their food and digest it?
Sure.
Well, this whole thing is a giant mountain mimic, and it's just got balls of metal to help digest things. And it's
Oh, okay, that's reasonable.
Oh, it's
It's
funny.
like those creatures
Just
from
a giant baby.
the Never-Ending Story.
Sure.
Nice.
It doesn't seem organic at the bottom, with the exception of the fact that rock is organic. It doesn't seem fleshy. It's not a flesh cave. So
there's
You're now-
ancestors. I can.
does Louise has dark vision now?
Yes, 60 foot with the goggles.
Gotcha.
60 feet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I can't bring just you to the map at the bottom, so I'm gonna have you. Or you wait at the bottom and kind of sure up the rope and try and catch somebody if they fall,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Thrall, you're next.
I mean, you can make the map available, and then just he can move.
Wait, what?
You don't have to.
No
If
peeking.
you have a map you're going to bring us to that you don't want all of us to see, you can just make it selectable without bringing us all there, and then he can. Can you? It's more of a question. Can you do that
I don't think so.
without having to bring us over?
Show in navigation. It's either GM or all players. There's. Oh, yeah, I could do all players. Okay, sure.
Yeah, and then we just won't move over.
And yeah, now we need to select it to actually be on it. Yeah. So are
Okay,
you
so
done
one at a
here?
time as you get to. I haven't actually put your token on the map yet. Oh, that's your companion. There we go.
Alright,
Well,
Do
if
the
they're
same
good, go
symbol.
down.
Same symbol. I say Vicon Diaz.
alright, awesome.
push Thrall over the edge.
And I
Guidance
cash
on
it.
everything.
Guidance on everyone that goes past me. I'm a cleric, folks.
I guess I probably
Fine.
should have mentioned that Razir would have noticed some shapes at the bottom, not like figures or people or anything, but there it looks like there's a few like
Not an
like rocks. There's stuff down at the bottom, and at that distance, you can't really make out what it is. You just see something down there.
Probably
Um,
rocks.
Probably
There's
rocks.
some other stuff besides some rocks down there. But Louise, you turn around as Thrall begins to descend, and you see
Yeah, and
there's actually a pitched tent and several crates that are affixed in a certain area, and what looks to be the remnants of a long burnt out fire, or like a fire pit near the tent at the bottom. Yeah, Thrall, where's your athletics check?
Sick.
On guidance.
I think I got. Okay,
Double
Ew.
sick.
that's good enough. Similar, kind of sliding your hand like slips through, and you get like some rope burn as you're heading down the bottom there, and a little bit of
My gloves.
smoke comes up from your. And you know what? It burns through your gloves, Donnie. No, you get down.
my
Yeah, you get down to the bottom, no problem. So you get down there and you see the exact same thing that that guy will bring your. I just might as well bring all your tokens here. I think that's everybody. What are you doing with? What were you doing with Gade?
I told Gade to just hang out up top because I'm sure he doesn't like going on the ground, and there's no way to get him down there. So just hang out up here, wait for us to get back.
She's just gonna hang out in the cave and might go hunting in the deep, dark, scary woods.
Leave him with a couple rations. Okay, this might take a day or two. He knows what's up. He knows how this works.
Yeah, he does. He's been with you for a while. Okay,
He's a creature of
Um,
the wilds.
I don't like his
next,
whole jam.
probably Xander. No,
right.
Shaku.
Sure.
I mean, there's
8.
is all
Oh, you already
the other-
rolled?
You get guidance also.
Yeah.
guidance.
Did you,
8.
okay, did you roll with guidance?
Yep.
You roll a
You
three.
did.
Roll a tree. Oh no. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, there's no strength modifier for me.
Yeah, it's +0 for you.
Yeah,
it's
so
not-
you're starting to
yeah.
make your way down, and like everything starts to just like really start to make sense, and you start to like just hand over hand, and you're like, yeah, this is good. This makes a lot of sense to me. And all of a sudden, there's no rope in your hand anymore, and you're just free falling down at about the halfway point. Is there anything that anyone else is doing, or are we letting this? It's going to
Something
plummet 40
something I
feet to the
can do.
ground.
He's not wearing the climbing harness. He can't save himself. I don't.
Nobody's got
have
feather
any
fall.
magic.
I do not
Does-
have featherfall.
Does Shaku have anything up his sleeve?
Unless I'm shooting him with Eldritch Blast, he's out of range of all my stuff.
It is
Finish him
force
off before
damage.
the ground does.
Yeah.
It is force damage. Yeah.
You can force him upward as you hit him, right? Is that how that works?
Oh
Maybe we
man,
could try and
I
catch
get-
him.
the thing
Yeah,
that pulls
I guess-
pulls him closer to you.
Yeah, I don't have that indication.
So my question is, should I just? I don't know how much damage I would take in D&D.
All of it.
Should I wild shape?
Just eat
You
that
put wild
damage
shape
with
into
your
something
thing.
with a climbing speed and just grab
Was
the
it
ball.
every 10 feet it's 1d6 or something like that? Is that what the
Correct.
rule is?
So this is only 46 damage.
I mean, you
I'm not
could
gonna
wild
burn a wild
shape.
shape for that.
Sort
I'm not
absolutely.
gonna burn a wild shape for that.
What are you doing? Make a decision.
I'm gonna take the fall.
As I watch him plummet, can I move the rope to try to get him, get it within his reach? Since I'm at the top, can I,
Work it out.
yeah.
Sure, that's actually a really creative solution. I will ask for Shaku to make a perception check with disadvantage.
Grab on!
If this goes badly enough, it wraps around his neck.
Snaps his neck.
I don't like you.
It's going to be a perception check. Duke, go ahead and make a dexterity check.
I can maybe do that.
Oh,
See how
this
dexterous
was
you
a
are.
natural.
Don't roll in that one.
You!
17. Okay, 20. What was your
Yes.
perception?
With the disadvantage, you said?
Yeah.
Or just straight? 14.
14. Okay. So you see this interesting. I don't know. The rope just seems to just peel away from the wall. You weren't even looking up to see why it happened. All of a sudden, the rope is reaching out in your direction from the wall. This is now a dexterity saving throw with no disadvantage.
I grab it.
A lot of rolls all at once to try and save you
Wait,
from 46 damage.
I need to do math. Maths play D&D.
Ice.
19.
19.
Yes.
Okay. I will say that you grab onto it just as it's flicking out, and it slams you into the side of the wall as you come careening back in. You do still take damage, but not as much damage as you would have taken. 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the base there at the bottom. And Louise and Thrall watch this all happen. He's now about like 5 feet off the ground, just like clinging onto the rope, just smashed up against the side there.
Once he gets down, I'll go over to him and give him a few good berries to heal up. So I go, here you go, eat these. They should help you.
I don't know what happened, man. Thank you. And let's just kind of look at the rope to see what the heck happened, because I was fine. Oh man, one minute I was climbing, the next minute the rope was climbing for me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Are you okay down there?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Good.
And just suddenly,
How do the berries work?
basically, right now I had 20 of them total. I gave you 7, so he heal up back to full HP.
Thank you. Delicious berries.
Okay. Is Xander gonna go next?
All right.
Guidance.
Yep.
Don't roll an 8.
I gotta make sure I say it,
Minus
otherwise it might
one.
not count.
I can do this, I believe. 1d4. And normal. Yes.
Nice.
He's like, guys, I don't know if we should be going down here, but and he disappears and is just mumbling to himself as he's slowly making his way down.
Fear not, mijo. You will be okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then he makes his way down without too much of an issue, just very, very slowly, which I believe guidance only lasts a minute. But
Yeah,
it's
but it's
fine.
for the roll. It's a minute or until you make the roll. So the guidance.
Which I could be
Like a roll
asking
count.
for. I could be asking for 12 different athletics checks on the way
If
down.
you did
for this,
that,
but I'm not
I
doing
would. That would be the
We'd
case.
all be
but
upset.
He
I know.
feels the strength
For
of the
hours.
gods at the start of the climb. And
Yeah.
that boosts confidence. throughout.
Speaking specific, just strictly mechanically. Anyways, Xander makes it down. Who's next? Obviously Razier, because Duke's gonna.
Oh yeah, Razier, that's right. Sorry about it.
Let's. Duke and I will probably wait till last. We'll have the 3, or the 2. No, it's 3 at this point. The 3 other people that are coming go down. Xanadier.
Xanadier.
Oh, I'm sorry. You thought we were coming with you. No, Liari and I are gonna stay in the cave. We're not coming down with you.
All right, you can keep guild company. Xanadier, you're up.
Does your friend's already down below. Does the warg ever get angry? Like something I should avoid doing to avoid angering the warg? Don't want to get eaten.
Over
I'm
to
the one
edge
who-
of the cave. Hey, Freckles. Is Gade gonna be fine with these 2 staying up here?
Hang on. Yeah, just don't poke him or nothing.
She says, "Yeah, he's perfectly fine. Sometimes he like his belly poked, but
That is not what he said.
oh, he said don't poke him. Right.
Do not.
I was
Do
gonna
not
have
poke him.
I was gonna have them roll perception to see if they heard Thrall say that from below or not. Okay, do clarified.
Razier, you
Right.
I'm joking. He'll be fine. He'll watch out for stuff around. Pay attention to him, and he'll alert you for anything coming by. I'm sure, but yeah, he'll be fine.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure that you get down, and we'll keep the rope from being broken for whatever reason. And did you want to leave us an extra? Well, we have a couple coils of rope, so if it's needed, if it
I'll put mine
throw down
down and
more.
say, you keep this if you need it.
A couple extra.
Right.
You can have my rope.
Nice.
I have two anyway.
Before we proceed with the rest of this, because we're at this point, Threll, I would ask, or Donnie, I would ask, in the event that something bad transpired up top, what would Gade's actions be? Let's say you're in this dungeon and some time has passed and some bad guys showed up. What would Gade's actions be?
Well, all of the caravan training is about running
Kiting.
away and kiting enemies. So without their rider, they are trained to try not to fight themselves unless they absolutely have to, and to run away from the danger and see if they can try to find their rider if they're still alive or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Gage's just gonna jump down the hole to come and find.
Oh God, no!
No.
Can you do that?
Good point of clarification. Okay, so Zanladir will go next, so I will go ahead and roll for Zanladir.
Guidance. I want you to know that's happening.
I understand.
Oh no, I need you to understand.
Not everyone's token is labeled. Is that Razir?
Razir is that one.
Who's that?
Oh no.
That's
That's Jacob.
yeah.
Okay.
He's
Zanladir.
got magic of some sort for himself, right?
Doesn't have a feather fall.
Look,
Is not meant to be today.
To be
He rolled
fair.
a nat 1 on his 20 and a nat 1 on the D4 that he rolled for guidance. So
That's terrible. To be fair, he was our escort guy. We probably wouldn't just let him free climb. Probably tie an extra rope around him.
you didn't say
to
that.
wall it. We didn't, no.
Yeah, but afterwards.
Okay. He
There's people down there to
Seems-
catch him. It's fine.
he seems like he's relatively comfortable with himself and kind of excited to get down and gets his pack all set up and clips it in the front because that totally exists in this world, and then
No,
starts lowering himself down, and he gets 20 feet down, and you just hear him oh, I didn't, just a very interesting specimen here. To catalog this. Just hold on 1 moment. I'll just one moment. And you hear him fumbling with something. Oh, something hits the ground next to you, Louise. Before you're looking up, and you can just barely kind of make out his silhouette against the little bit of sunlight that's coming in from the top. And he just what? And starts just 80 feet, or it would be 60 feet at this point, just falling straight down.
Oh no!
He's going. What are you guys doing?
What can we do?
Could he live 36 points of damage?
You don't know. You don't know.
What's the danger in catching him?
You may.
I would never recommend catching anyone from more than 10 feet. That's just.
I'm pretty sure rules as written, it's the person falling takes half the damage, and the one catching takes the other half.
Yeah. As he's starting to fall, because I am watching him, if he's only 20, 30 feet, that's just inside my mage hand range. So as soon as he starts to slip, I would try just very edge to push the rope into his hand with my mage hand. Just as a final ditched effort before he gets out of range of me.
Okay. Because he was distracted with whatever thing he was doing, I would say that probably would have given him like maybe a +5, but probably not advantage on his roll. So as you see him,
Take that once.
what I would say that Razir probably would have done was probably talking to him 20 feet down while he's trying to fumble with whatever it is he's trying to do, and like not to do that because he's obviously not holding on very carefully and all of that, and he just kind of like ignores you and falls anyways. But it was an effort with Mage Hand to move the rope, and it's just not gonna give him enough to save him at this point. So is anybody trying to catch him?
Yeah, I am.
We can all catch him.
With the power of friendship.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys stand
Divide
below,
the
you watch him, and
damage.
you like run over like you're gonna catch a football. It's falling out of the air, and you're like get there and try to catch him as he hits the ground. Sure. So I'm just gonna roll, and you guys are gonna split the damage because that's just it.
Multi-person cat thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the road.
Yeah.
I'll also join the.
There's 4 people down there.
Yeah, I'll join the.
We all somehow pull out like a big trampoline and we firemen's catch him.
He's gonna take.
I
He's
was-
gonna take.
Pocket
Sure.
trampoline.
Sure. There's three of you. No, Xander's down below as well, right?
Yeah, Xander is.
All right, and also, so you're gonna split this damage 5 ways, and I rolled extremely low. It's only 16 points of damage.
And
So
can
it's
you
basically 2 points of damage.
before that? Can you
It's 3.
chrono shift
At 3,
his
yeah, sorry.
terrible roll?
It's
Oh.
only within 30 feet.
Ah,
30 feet.
far.
Let me just check.
I was thinking about running up the wall and turning into a spider.
Full shift.
But I was like,
Yeah,
if
30
I ain't a
feet.
spider for me, I'm not spidering for him.
Right. Okay. So everybody at the bottom takes 3 points of damage. As he-
attempt. No.
I was thinking the same.
Just
Oh
like
no, my
shh,
10 HP.
thuds into the ground.
Oh, because that's the spider.
I am. I guess I'll have to collect that sample on our way out then. Sorry about that. It's a long way to fall. Didn't hurt that much. Not as much as I thought. He looks down at like the some of like a party. Look at Shaku, and there's just like a bit of stuff that kind of got out from underneath your cloak.
You know what? Before the 2 others come down, something baby should have done before. Why don't we go grab the tent and maybe try and use it as a like a shoot, catch people in case they fall.
That's genius.
Okay. So you go over to this tent.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not very well affixed to the wooden poles that are kind of holding it up, and looks like it's been here for an incredibly long time. You pull out a knife and kind of cut the ropes or strings that are holding it together. Inside, there's a simple bedroll that's on the floor. Do you like cut it in half, or do you just like rip off the parts and take the whole thing off of the frame that's there
I
and carry
guess
that over?
We could take the whole thing and maybe like fold it, because since it's
Sure.
that old, maybe it wouldn't hold if someone were to fall on it. So
Right.
yeah.
I'm gonna
It
collect my
might help a
weed
little
back that came out, put my stuff back together, brush it off. I'm not gonna say anything, but I am gonna stare at him a little bit for falling on top of us.
You should just stare at him. Okay. Just kind of looks
Put all
at
my
you.
stuff back together.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I do have to say, you kind of volunteered for this project. I suppose I might be dead if not for you, so I greatly appreciate that. I'm sorry for damaging any of your whatever that is. What is that, by the way?
This right here. This right here is something I call green crack. It's a specialty from my farm. You know what? Let me just show you how it works. Then I was gonna take a nice puff of it and blow it into his face, and it wouldn't have any magical abilities whatsoever. It'd just be a plume of smoke.
Gotcha.
Actually, I suppose that's up to you if these people would or not get high. But the way I put it would.
Yeah, if you know this NPC, and that's why Eric's got a giant smile plastered on his face right now because he knows exactly what's happening. And he just like, oh, And he just like stares at the ground as everything else is going on around him. Cutting back to Louise, who's snipping off the various pieces of rope and grabbing the tent, folding it in half, bringing it over. You and Thrall down at the bottom, kind of like getting ready for the next person to come down. Xanladir is standing in your way as you're dragging over the tent, and he just kind of like looks up at Louise. Oh, hi.
Hi. You good there?
You found, a big piece of canvas.
Bless you.
Guess we could call it that.
Huh. And he just stands there and nods at you.
Could you
An
move
interesting
it like
specimen indeed.
5 feet that way, please?
With my feet?
Preferably.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Man,
Try
this
to
man's
stay-
so
keep it-
high.
Okay. He like takes a step and then another step and kind of moves and he just kind of nods a little bit and then keeps walking. And he's now walking towards the left tunnel off to the left-hand side.
I'm gonna grab him and just kind of guide him back, and just walk him back to the group. Hey man, you might wanna stay a little bit closer than that.
Takes out his book. Just doesn't even say anything to you. He's just like holds the book really close to his face and just keeps flipping the pages. All right, you guys, we're not going to sit here and as I described this happening the whole entire rest of the night here. So he's having a good time. You guys, Razir, I believe, is the next person who needs to come down the rope. So get an athletics check.
Yep.
After we finish,
You're gonna be all right climbing down, badass.
I will be okay. I've been reviewing some of the training from the temple, so if anything happens, I think I should be okay.
Since
Alright.
my bear actually understands common, he just growls because he needs to go down as well. But yeah.
ow.
Oh my!
Hang up.
Isn't the bear going to climb down?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure you'd like to have guidance on him.
Oh, gotcha.
I will do guidance on the bear. I didn't know he was going.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Go ahead, Razira.
Oh, roll a 4.
That's a 4d4.
No.
Are you
The house
using-
is cursed. It happened again.
Are you using your? Do you have a climber's kit?
Nope.
Well, you're dead.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
I thought we all bought climbers kits.
I bought a kit.
So
I
They all
bought
come. They all come with a
we have 3 of
harness,
them.
which helps you not fall.
More
Past
than 25 feet.
So
What does Razir do to prevent this from happening to him? What I mean is not as it's happening, but what would his preparation have been to not have this happen, not fall as he's climbing down? Apart
I
from
knew
be
he
very
Have the
careful.
climber's kit, I would have given him mine. I'm less concerned about falling because I'm a monk and I'm a good monk now. You know what I'm saying? Slow fall, baby. Ooh.
I mean, yeah, if there's a climber's kit available, I'd use it. Get the harness on to not be able to fall too far.
I
Okay.
thought everyone bought one. That's all. I just thought everybody did.
No, I think
I
we
mean,
all
these
have
are
We're all
conversations-
coupled together.
Conversations that probably would have happened. This is the preparation that would have happened either the night before or that morning. While you guys
I
were
wouldn't have
sitting
given
around
it to
talking.
anyone else except one of the party members. Not Xanladir, certainly.
Also, we could have have somebody use the harness and then bring the harness back up by another rope because we have tons of rope on us.
yeah. Well, we didn't. Think
Why are
about
you
it.
thinking of these
Did not.
ideas now and saying them
'Cause-
now after these bad things
Because
are
we're
happening?
stupid.
Think about
We're
them
done,
before.
Tim. God, stop trying to kill us all the time.
We're gonna be
I was
so
gonna ride
extra
down
careful.
on a
You know what?
stone, Okay.
You know what I could say to you,
Huh.
Alex? Stop trying to die all
already-
the time.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. I
You know what?
actively attempt it every single session.
You know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna go use my smith tools to create several rungs of a ladder and fix them to the wall.
I would use my explorer's
80 feet
tool
of
to
ladder.
explore a better solution.
You
got a
know,
whole forest out there.
do you want to just take 2d6 damage and move on?
See.
I mean, unless something else is happening, yeah.
Okay.
But we try and catch him with the tarp.
Okay. Oh, actually, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Go right
That's a
through
very
that
good
thing
point.
hit the ground anyways.
Absolutely. 100%
Reserve size hole, just like in the
Bounce
cartoons. Just
Missile through the tarp.
Okay.
Keep your
That-
legs straight. That's for water.
That's the wrong advice for this situation.
Lock your knees.
Broken legs at the bottom. Okay.
Please come up and hit me in the chin.
The tent and the tarp that was laid out reduces all the damage that you would have taken down to 1 point of bludgeoning damage. However, the tarp, the tent is ruined. There is no reusing it. You do go through it after it like bounces once and then rips, and you go down and hit the ground.
That's
Like
reasonable.
It's like a pointy rock that hits me right in the spine. It's like, ah!
Don't do that.
Yep. Okay. So we got the bear. So go ahead and roll for the bear.
yeah.
I will say that he has guidance, but he has a climbing speed,
Yeah.
and I would say that this is climbable. I will give him advantage with
Advantage,
this.
right.
Shouldn't.
And
See
I
if
had
I-
my proficiency bonus to that, as I said before, since primal
grab my
bond.
food real quick.
But why did I not roll with advantage? So I'll roll again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I should have gone invisible so the DM didn't see me.
Yeah.
Lose
So
the rope.
14.
Okay. Yeah, he makes it down perfectly fine. Just
Right.
kind of claw over claw, gripping the side, moving back downwards. And Duke, of course, Duke stepped away from the computer. He can reduce all falling damage up to a certain point, right?
For 20 feet, I think the first one is. Yeah, by you think by 20. As long as he doesn't take more than 20 damage, he doesn't take any damage.
Okay.
And
So then
Yeah,
he's probably gonna be fine.
so they're fine.
Um,
When you fall,
It's 20
you
points.
can use a
right there.
reaction when you fall to reduce any falling damage you take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm at 20.
So, well, 5 times your monk level. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm only level
Just
4
just
monk.
make an athletics check. We'll see if it's even worth rolling damage.
Let's see, my athletics is 0. I'm using. If Razir didn't take the harness, then I will use the harness, but I don't
Too close.
because he fell anyway, right? So
He did.
then here he goes. That's trash. With my D4.
D4. Roll 4. Roll 4.
Roll 4. Hey!
Oh, we made it. You still fall. No, I'm just joking.
And I die.
You may.
I take
He
100
falls, but he
points of
catches the
falling.
rope, and then he does that like aerial acrobatic stuff that people do
Yeah,
on
I
like
do some
ribbons. and just
I do Cirque du
lands perfectly.
Soleil.
Yeah. Land down at the bottom. Everybody has arrived relatively safely. Nobody's dead, which is great. You have the cave in front of you, and a voice comes to all of you before you have a chance to even take a few more steps to investigate. It seems we have visitors.
Oh, crap.
That's precious.
And with that, we're going to go to break so I can go put Nova to bed.
Oh my god!
precious.
Oh my gosh!
So, bringing it back in.
Bring it back.
The voice slightly resonates in the chamber.
What, remind me, what did he say one more time?
It looks
Seems to
like,
have some visitors.
oh, we'll have some visitors.
Right. Okay.
And that's it. Looking around, there's no one in sight that you can see. There are a couple of boulders and some debris and stuff within this chamber that you're in currently. Hear a little bit of movement behind the left-hand side boulder over here. Shuffling of... Oh, everybody can move over, yeah.
Can't see anything.
I'm gonna reach into my pouch and
can't
just
see
grab.
No. I can see Choku. And
I can see. Oh, it's dark down here. As I get to the bottom, I will suddenly a halo emits from around my head, and light is cast from me.
All I see is Shaky.
Wait, what? Did I not put Razir down there?
No, he's over here.
He's there. It's for some reason not labeled.
That's
though.
not.
Yeah.
That's not Razir. That's Zanladir.
Does Zen?
Well, I don't.
If it is, yeah, then there's no.
Hey!
Yeah, Razir's here.
See, there's no textures. Reload.
Yeah.
Again.
I just saw that.
Nice.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, such a good movie.
So, as you guys are standing here at the bottom, hearing the voice, seeing the debris around you, and the three choices of egress, if you want to call the caves that lead off directly in front of you, and then one to the left and the right. Again, everybody at this point can hear the crashing sound of something, whether it be a small explosion or just metal being crushed or something. It does sound like that sound is coming from the left-hand tunnel. Directly in front of you, the tunnel directly across from where the rope dropped down, there is definitely a moist air that is every so often just emanating out into the chamber. Like as though something large is breathing into it.
Was there any indication of a direction this voice came from, or was it just all around us?
Make a perception check.
Can we all make one, or is it just him?
Sure. Everybody can make it.
Alright.
That's a 26. Because I'm at a -1. Oh, snap. You know what? I'm at a -1. I would have fallen.
Yeah, but you've I've cut yourself with the
I
your
would
slow
have
fall. And
Well, we're already past it.
We
That's
are,
fine.
but I got to remember -1. Oh, can I just do -1? If I hit -1 on the thing, does it roll with a -1? Hold on, I'm going to check something real quick.
Sure.
Okay, all right. So, that's
Nice.
terrible.
Get those nat ones out of the way now. Yeah, I would say that like Louise and Thrall, yeah, everybody pretty much can tell that it's coming from behind the large rock that's off to the left-hand side. And also there was like the slight scuffling sound of something against the gravelly stone that's at the base here. But there's no other words that are said currently.
Did y'all hear that? Or was that just me?
I heard it.
Yeah. So we're here.
Yes, I also heard
All
that.
right.
And your voice does carry, as you say. Did you all hear that? There's like a that kind of like.
Echo.
Yep.
All right. So, do you want to go check out what that might be?
Yeah.
Just shout out to the rock, like, hey, come out of there, you quit hiding, you little golem creature.
What is a golem?
I don't know, it's like a little burrowing guy.
Oh,
I think
so
it
you
was a
didn't even know
halfling
about
once.
Emerging from around the rock, there is a very short, hunched over creature that looks. Those with dark vision, I mean, you guys can see it from here, but there's no real light that's stretching
I have
out.
my light.
How far does it reach? 60 feet?
It's only 10 feet. No, I'm just saying.
Okay, so just a slight glow around you guys, kind of.
Me and Xander can see color.
Oh, because you have true sight. Is your true sight 150 feet?
It's not true sight. It's devil's sight, which is just
vision.
dark vision plus magic dark vision, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Plus.
So I can see color. And
I'll be standing next to Thin because I don't have dark vision.
Okay.
And you said since I have the orb, I do have 150 of that instead of just 120.
Gotcha. Okay. So stepping out from around the rock, there is this figure who
Really close.
is kind of wearing a cloak and looks like finely made materials, like a robe with a cloak over it. It's red and black and kind of fringed with this like gold embroidery on the edges of the garment. Has a hood that's pulled up. And as far as like race, I mean, you've seen goblins, you've seen gnomes, halflings. The face looks humanoid, but that's about all you get out of it. They're hunched over, but then kind of stand up erect as though they were kind of hunched down and like looking around the side of the rock and get up. And they're standing at a max of like 3 feet tall. They have. Oh, let me just hold on one second.
Oh, those?
Looks like there's some kind of like saber attached to one side and like a very small, almost like a walking stick, but very, very finely crafted, almost like a staff that they're holding in their other hand as they step forward slightly and kind of plant it in the gravel. If Adam's talking, I can't really hear what he's saying because he's too far away.
He's not.
Okay. Hello. And welcome to the Rising Requiem.
I hope his name is Gyrazine, because I hate him.
You already hate this NPC just because of the voice. Gotcha.
I was gonna say it's a mix between Kermit and Gollum.
Yeah.
And does he look like a Muppet at all? With a flappy jaw and just...
Well, not quite. Not quite.
Okay.
No.
Doesn't look like he's made of felt.
Not at all. Welcome to the Rising Requiem. My home. My prison. You are visiting for what purpose?
Work?
Yeah, it's definitely a business trip.
Right.
Yes, it is definitely business.
You're an odd one, and
Speak for yourself.
I do. You say you live down here.
Unfortunately, I do.
Would
Now,
you like fall down the hole or something?
no, I did not fall down the hole, as you put it. I am trapped here. I've been here for quite some time. And should you be adventurers willing to do me a favor, perhaps I could do one for you. If you are here with ill intentions, then this will be a different conversation.
Does this creature seem sinister at all? Like, I know we're in a deep, dark cave, but like,
Doing the hand
is it
thing.
giving off like bad guy vibes? Like just look, sometimes you just look at someone, you're like, you're not a decent folk.
Make an insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
also
you, could I insight
sizing
check?
him.
I'm getting bad guy vibes. I'm judging a book by its cover. He's
26.
evil. Not helpful.
Other than that, 20. Oh my goodness. All right.
Not 26, half that.
Huh, 8.
I mean with a nat 20. Okay. This individual is definitely not a good guy.
Okay.
They are definitely do not have good intentions. From the very little interaction you've had with them, they carry themselves with an air of power.
His tone is all wrong.
He's definitely not lying in his offer of you doing him a favor, and he'll do you a favor. But even everything he says drips with malice. Something is underlying that is bad about this person.
Stab him in the face with a soldering iron. This tone, it's all wrong.
It's not hard. It's not hard for everyone else to tell that something is off, even if you rolled a very low insight check. Maybe he's not lying, but something's off.
You said this was a prison, so what are you in for, man?
Oh, that is a long story, one that would take me longer than you can live to tell.
You straight up evil.
I was evil at one time and am now reformed. It takes a lot to hold that which I have suffered at bay. And I do, successfully, day after day after day.
I don't believe that. Prison never reformed anybody.
I remember some people at the temple when they would be isolated. They were never normal afterwards. I would be careful.
Let me explain. My master truly resides here.
It's not a good way to start.
No, it ain't.
My master resides here. He is the one that keeps me locked within this museum. I wish to leave, and I am not free to do so of my own volition. If you were a group of adventurers looking to stock up on magical items and to be touring the museum, as it were, to find all of its secrets and find yourself in need of riches, well, this place holds all that you seek. All that I ask.
What would you do if you were freed?
What would I do if I was afraid?
No, freed.
If I were freed, well, I would find a way to take revenge on my master.
That's all you do? You wouldn't do anything after that?
And then I could be put to rest with all those who I've made suffer in the past.
What's your master's name?
I want to insight check that. If he's telling the truth about killing himself.
I'm assuming he's already lying.
that's
Okay, go ahead and make another insight check.
Like a zone of truth up in here.
Oh.
11. Checks are bad.
He's hard to read in this moment about that particular detail. What is the name of my master? Well, he specifically demands that his name not be revealed. I can, however, tell you what my name is. However, I've not had introductions from you. What are your names? You are, in fact, in my home.
Right. Well, unfortunately for you, little thing, we're not exactly under any kind of rule or jurisdiction that you seem to be saying is in charge of this place. So we are free to come and go as we please. I'm not sure you're exactly arguing that, but as far as giving out names is concerned, I've learned to be a tad wary of doing that to unusual beings. So you can feel free to give us your name or what you want us to call you at least, but we ain't exactly friends yet, so our names I don't think are gonna be a thing you'll get to learn for a bit.
Where's the lowest pitten that we left on the wall? How far up is it?
I don't know. How many pittance did you have?
Be every 25 feet.
So about
Shit.
probably about 15 feet off the ground.
All right. Can I tie the end of the rope to my one of my darts and throw it up there? I don't want this rope down in this creature's reach.
Sure. You have a dart?
Yeah, I got darts. I'm a monk. I got darts.
Okay. So you take it and you just kind of chuck it upwards to try and get the bottom of the rope to no longer be dangling down at the bottom here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Easy enough. You go ahead and throw it up and it loops over that pit in there, and now it's about, with the rope slack, it's about 8 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I go over to Zenladir and I just slap him a bit because he's not all there right now.
Yeah.
Zenladir, do you know what that thing is, or what his master is?
Oh, what an interesting individual. I didn't even notice they were there.
Figured.
Looks over at, was it Sheku? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
Sheku. Is this something that's regularly available?
Yeah. The back home at Sayor is where that's my business.
Yeah, you have like a good amount on you. Yes?
Enough.
Right. I think that our inevitable survival is contingent on my brain power, which is why I'm here. If you would mind not blowing that in my face and perhaps sharing some of it with me after we've all made it out alive, and then I'll be happy to pay you for whatever it is your stock is that's currently on you. And perhaps contact can be made within Sayor. And I've never experienced anything of its like. What do you call it?
Weed. And I'll gladly hook you up afterwards.
Weed, like as in the things that grow tall up in the flatlands.
Well, that's the street name, but legally, or more scientifically, it's called marijuana or THC.
It's a fantasy world, Adam. Make something up cool. Call it something else.
I never thought about making it not real weed. That's put me on the spot.
You know, we'll have the conversation later. But what I would say is that I require my thinking faculties, and right now my head is not where it's meant to be. So if you wouldn't mind not blowing that in my face again. In fact, I'm surprised you're still standing, honestly. Louise, to answer your question, I have no idea what that is.
All right.
As far as the rope is concerned, that isn't the height that's keeping me in this location. So fear not as far as the rope is concerned.
Well, you might not be the only thing here.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not.
Of course not. Look, we don't know who or what you are, and you showing up from behind a rock as soon as we get in the cave is a little creepy and off-putting. So we are not inclined to trust or immediately help you. We ain't no gang of heroes or nothing. Those are few and far between these days. So I don't know what you're looking for out of this meeting, but I doubt you're going to get it.
Adventurers come here all the time. They come to try to get what they can from the museum. And the museum is open, as it always was, for free, to those who wish to wander its halls, collect what they can. I suppose its original purpose wasn't for people to take things from the museum, but there are those who have come and tried, and you are not the first, and you will not be the last. There are dangers. There are secrets. You are welcome to try your hardest. All I offer is a trade. I will not hinder you necessarily, but if you aren't willing to take our trade, I won't help you either. And as to what I am, I once was an elf. I suppose I still am, just a twisted version. thanks to some meddling with the wave things. Anyways, who I am, you may refer to me as Vudos.
One more time, without the accent.
Vudos. Vudos.
Udos.
I am the
I'll put him
caretaker.
under the enemies section.
Same.
I want to do one more insight check on him on his whole I'm not going to hinder you, but I won't help you unless you want to trade bit. If that's actually his intention here, is offering the trade to see what we can.
Oh, he's 1,000% gonna hinder us.
Absolutely gonna probably try and stab you.
16.
He tightens
Advise
his
you,
grip
that's
on
actually
his
what
blade.
Looking.
Blast.
He seems true in his intentions of offering a deal. As to whether or not he's truthful, you can't tell.
What would your deal imply on our end?
There is a soul jar that contains the essence of my being that is trapped at the very bottom of the museum. No adventurers who have come thus far, I shouldn't say that, there was one group a long, long time ago who came here, who made it down to the very bottom. That is where my soul jar resides. Now, there are other soul jars that are here. You may or may not find them, that belong to others. But if it were to be destroyed, I am no longer tied to this location. The other soul jars do not tie others to this location, but have a different function. One I may be willing to share with you if you were to ally yourselves with me. Perhaps to the benefit of yourselves. Something you may be looking for. He looks directly at Razir as he says those last words. Something or someone you're searching for? We may or may not have the location here. Perhaps they are within one of the soul jars. That remains to be seen.
Right. So you're offering what exactly in exchange for us finding this soul jar and freeing you from this place?
Eternal damnation.
Well, if you fail here, your lives will be trapped within a soul jar and kept here for all eternity. If you succeed, I don't know whether or not the Master will allow you to leave unscathed without having an alliance. I can speak to him on your behalf and ensure him that you are on our side. You'll be allowed to leave with whatever you find, but as far as the breaking of my soul jar, that will remain between just us. That is, of course, if you make it all the way to the end.
One just quick question. This master of yours, is he... You said he's more evil than you are?
I would say so. On a much grander scale.
Use this evil dude to kill the other evil dude.
Well, I can't do any great harm to my master unless my soul jar is broken.
And to get to your soul jar, do we need to go through your master, or?
No, not through him. You may come in contact with him depending on your actions while you're here. But allying with me would go a great would go very far in determining whether or not you have to face his wrath, as it were. As he is
For stealing your
does
stuff.
have stealing of the stuff that's all par for the course for adventurers to come down here. That's what everyone's here for. There are many great items and secrets hidden within these halls. If you find what you find, it's finders keepers as far as we're concerned, if we have an alliance. You could, of course, take the items and live down here with me for the rest of your lives, assuming you survive, and then we can all be one big happy family.
I don't.
That's up to you.
Right. Well, we have no basis on which to base any belief in what you're saying. As far as we're concerned, and as far as we can have been shown, you're just some creepy guy down here in a cave, and you could be not right in the head.
A show of faith is what you're asking for. I understand.
Yeah, I guess so. Any kind of credibility.
He immediately walks over to the camp that's there and goes over and rummages through. Takes like what looks like a pile of rotten tentacles that look like they were cooked and then left out to rot for a long time. And they like takes a pile and hits them on, like throws them onto the ground, and just the stench just fills the entire space that's around. Opens up the top of a crate and rummages around inside of it and takes out a tiny little sack and like walks right up to Thrall. And holds out the little tiny little sack with a drawstring on it, and like jingles it around. Ding 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 ding. It sounds like just a few small metal objects inside.
Thanks.
Do you take it?
Sure, why not? Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay. So you reach out and you grab it, and
Experiments.
the sack is.
Accepted a gift from a fae. Your soul is now forfeit.
It's
Anyway, I got one of those.
he like has to reach. He's a reach up.
She's a redhead.
Puts it in your hand. The little tiny bag is warm as you're holding it in your hand, which is odd, because you're underground and it's kind of cold and damp down here, and kind of like opening up the drawstring and looking inside. There's 3 little pebbles inside. Nope, those are bullets.
Oh. Huh.
Uh-huh. And they have like orange, like striations isn't the right word, but like some like runic carving in them on the bullets themselves. And they give off some warmth to them.
Do I
You just
know
had 3
that
Dragon's Breath
Brazier
shots.
can see magic now?
Do you know that what?
Do I know that Razier can see magic now?
He didn't say it to the rest of the party.
That's true. Okay. They were like, oh, those are neat. What do these do?
Fire musket balls.
Incendiary.
The fire musket balls, or they are fire musket balls?
I guess you'll have to use them and find out for yourself. All I know is some adventurers and poor lost adventurers who actually took us up on our offer, and we're not successful. This is some of what they left behind. They don't make very good candy, I have to, warn you. But yeah, they deal additional fire damage when fired from your gun that I can clearly see you have strapped to you.
It's actually, it's in the saddle.
You left it on Gade?
Of course I left it on Gabe. What am I going to do with it?
I can tell you're the kind of individual that would enjoy, firearm weaponry. And,
Ah, absolutely. If only I had more of these. I'd be using it all the time.
Yeah, don't hand those to the guy that has a gun on his waist or anything.
It's magic. Get out of here.
He doesn't know that.
I mean,
We
you
all
had
know
a
that.
gun, but your gun is missing.
Well,
That's
chamber.
beside the point.
I thought that Thrall had the musket strapped to her,
Yeah.
so my
I
bad.
don't know what it
But I mean, Trell
Fine.
did
These are
use
mine
the
now.
only shot
Get
she
outta
had against a demon.
I'm adding these to my inventory.
Fireball.
You'll shoot them, and you'll find out what they do when you shoot them.
Definitely Dragon's Breath.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Or fireball
Alright.
bullets.
That was
Fireball.
great.
Would that
Oh
be
no,
OP?
it's turned your musket to a mortar. Oh no.
That's exactly what I need.
Don't hand Donnie mortars.
Come on now. Think about what you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, you giving us a couple trinkets. Is that supposed from? You said leftovers from somebody who don't make it. You saying that's enough? That should be enough to make us believe you?
Someone who made a deal with you and didn't make it.
it's not my fault if they don't make it. They're not strong enough. They're not ready for the perils that face them in this place. You obviously come here thinking that you're fully prepared. I'm simply trying to sweeten the deal, while also trying to benefit myself. Which is only fair, considering the world that you find yourselves in. I could
Fair enough.
provide you with an additional means of trust, but I have not received anything in the way of confirmation or trust back from you. I don't even know your names.
Right. You might not anytime soon, but I think the situation being as it is, you being, as you say, trapped down here, you need our help more than we need yours. And also, do keep in mind that you creepily came out from behind a rock, and we did not immediately attack you. So just keep that in mind.
You know,
What do y'all? What do the rest of y'all think, fellas? We're doing some exploring down here, anyways. We want to pick up an extra thing to do, and possibly have a man on the inside when it comes to Mr. Masterman being upset with us here.
I believe it might be dangerous. He could just as easily turn back on us if his master attacks.
at the point when you said that you didn't immediately attack as soon as he came out from the behind the rock, he didn't say anything, but he had just a huge grin on his face, like creepy, skin stretched further than it should up the sides of his mouth. No teeth showing, just a smile.
Now it's time to start blasting. Demon. It's a demon. Time to exercise the demon.
Last
Are
time
you
I fought a
shooting?
demon, I did not make it so far.
Okay, maybe we don't fight them on sight. Got it.
But I don't trust him, and if we fight, then I will go and I will fight him.
Well, hey man, you said there was something else that you had that could possibly convince us. What was that?
Oh, I think it had to do with what your name is.
All right, fine. You can have. No, I'll tell you my name. You cannot have it. I've heard stories of stuff where it's important what you say. My name, what I go by, is Razir. There. We have exchanged nomenclatures.
And as you say your name, there's a arcane flash in the air, and cursive draws your name in lettering across his eyes directly in front of him. Just as his eyes are moving, his hands don't move at all. And then evaporates into the air.
That is not okay.
Well, repetition for emphasis. A means
I'm
of
sure that's what
remembering.
it is.
I am called the Thin White Duke.
And again, the same calligraphy in bright orange outline with white, flashing light around the outside of the letters as they're scrawled hastily through the air as his eyes trace the lettering, floats away.
Even though that's not my real name.
That's the name that you provided to him.
All right, that's fair.
I think that's enough for names at the moment. We got Freckles, we got the boy and his brother, we got Fence Pants over here.
Okay. Fair enough. If I tell you this last detail, we have a deal and an allowance.
Perhaps. We're getting there.
He said, nah.
You know, I could just as easily go and sit down behind my rock. You see, you've ruined my tent. I suppose I can always get a new one. Somehow. I think I'll just go sit behind my rock and let you go and enjoy yourselves within the wonderful Rising Requiem. It's actually quite beautiful. I appreciate your providing me with the use of your names, the two of you. And, yeah, good luck.
You're going this far to just back out now when we're about to be almost in agreement?
You didn't give me enough of a reason to believe that you're actually going to accept my deal. Give me confirmation and I'll give you a very, very crucial piece of information that could perhaps be very lucrative for you.
The name's Sheku. So,
All right.
what's the information?
One of the secrets of the museum is that there is off of the main chamber, there is a storehouse, or a storage chamber, rather. And when you enter the door, if you make it that far, on the right-hand side, to the in between two of the storage racks, worry not about what's on the racks themselves, but there is a false door behind it. It leads to a secret passage, to a back storage chamber where the real treasure is hidden. Many golden artifacts and magic items, and perhaps something waiting for you in the shadows as well. Many adventurers do not find this location, and those that do not survive. So I'm simply giving you a heads up and a preparation and pointing you in the correct direction. There are two ways to get to this room. I've told you one of them.
All right. Well, that's a bit more useful, I'd say. The rest of y'all in agreement then? If we have the opportunity to, we find this little man's soul jar and free him in exchange for this information?
But something.
So,
What information we're missing is what is a soul jar?
Are you saying that? You're saying that out loud? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like a smart individual. Think about it. A jar that holds a soul. Part of the
Is it like a
fabric of one's
literal jar?
existence.
probably
Yes.
ceramic.
What's
It
it?
is-
You know what he's
I bet
talking
you
about,
glass.
Xander? Boy?
Xander.
Not Xander.
Somebody go ahead and roll an Arcana check for him.
I don't know how to do that yet.
I think that Louise is taking care of his rolls
Yeah.
and stuff.
You can roll for me.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
plus 11.
Yeah, because he's got expertise with the book.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
He's so smart.
I'll voice Xander briefly as a response. In my research, I think that that sounds a whole lot like a phylactery.
Lich.
Donnie's like,
Yeah.
I know
mean-
what those are.
yeah, but Thrall probably doesn't.
Thrall doesn't.
Yeah, Duke
I was
does
thinking the
not,
same
but
thing,
I
yeah.
definitely know.
Yay.
God,
All
I
we
don't-
know from that is it's like a phylactery, which means Xander knows what a phylactery is, which means he's been studying up on how to be a lich. Which means we have to watch our boy.
Good point.
Wait. That coming from the undead.
Hey!
Oh,
Whoa. Wild
Really?
accusations.
he's trying to distract us from his own lichdom.
Oh wow.
No. Hold up here.
So maybe he wouldn't have used the word phylactery, and I don't actually know what Jason would have said in the moment, or I probably would have described it to him because he would have rolled. Yeah, I think that kind of stuff's frowned upon even though everybody in the world does whatever they want. But there's people in the past that tried to escape mortality using stuff like that before, but I don't remember when or where. On a 14 from a 3.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, how do we identify? You said there's lots of them here. How do we identify the one we're looking for?
Well, there are a few of them here, but none of them are located with mine. I do not have access to the area where mine is located, and as I mentioned, it's at the very bottom, at the very end.
It's the only one there.
As far as I know. I've never been down
All right,
there
so
myself.
That's the only thing we have to go off of. Is of which one's yours? Is that it's by itself at the very back of the place?
You really are asking far more questions than anyone else who's ever been here before. I suppose perhaps that lends to you being here and living longer. Perhaps. Perhaps there's something to this. Within a soul jar, you see an image, a representation of a person in their former life, or perhaps when they were captured in the soul jar to begin with. I, as I mentioned, was once an elf. You will see my old visage within that jar.
is there any reason not to release all the soul jars that we find?
Well, if the little man's telling the truth, some of these other ones ain't as reformed in their intentions.
Stuck here for eternity?
Well, not all of them were stuck here. He said a few of them are in them jars for other reasons.
At least their souls
Anyway, so we're looking for one by itself, way in the back, and has an elf in it.
Correct.
Essentially.
Yes. And just as a
Fair enough.
further clarification, if for some reason I can't catch up to you in the chamber in which you find the other soul jars, if you get there, it isn't, as I'm proof standing here before you, that someone whose soul is trapped within a soul jar isn't necessarily dead, and they're not necessarily trapped, and if they are, it may or may not necessarily be here that they're trapped. They may be trapped in some other way. And the release from the soul jar may or may not release them from that entrapment. There are other things that can be done with soul jars, but I think I've said too much.
If I
We
were
only
to
released-
tell you, if I were to tell you my name, would you tell us how to avoid the same fate as you did?
The same fate as I did. I don't think there's anyone in the world who's suffered the fate that I have. But if you're referring specifically to not being trapped within a soul jar, that is something that's built into the fabric of this place. You could turn away now and leave, but as soon as you take something for yourself, you are bound by the laws of this location.
All right. And to break those, to be free from here, we need to negotiate with your master, as you said, right?
I will convince him that you are allies with us, and he will do with that information as he sees fit. He may or may not have part of you captured within a soul jar, but it will be for less evil intentions if I tell him that you're working with us. Not everything my master did and has done is bad. And he is extremely powerful. So, we have an agreement.
All right. Things we do.
Well, I don't have any towels or like a warm bath to offer you, but this is home. I can tell you that the way to the main chamber is through the central tunnel that's here, although you may have a significant trouble going that way. You can also reach the main tunnel by going down left. A little bit less of a challenge, maybe, depending. And if you want to cut right to the chase and go directly for what you're looking for, you might try your chances down the right tunnel. But then you'd miss out on all of the fine items and loot. And perhaps some other historical significance that your friend here might be looking for. And with that, I will need to brew myself some tea. And he turns and walks over to the embers, waves his hand over them, and fire lights up. And he sits down and pulls out, which you didn't see before, was a full tea set, and sits himself down on one of the stools and starts taking out a bag of something and rips off a part of one of the rotten tentacles and just starts chewing on it. You are left to your devices.
Well, seems we've picked up a bonus objective down here. How do we feel about what he said about taking things? Because that's kind of the whole point of us being here, is to find things to take.
Why weren't we warned about that before coming down into the cave?
Because everybody who came down never came back.
Right.
So there was no way of knowing.
I
Also, that's
didn't know.
the inherent dangers of exploring
Wait.
ruins these days is you never know what you're going to find.
Did Xanadir just say he did know?
Didn't
did
know.
not.
Didn't, alright.
All right. Well, you being our employer for the current objective, Zanladir, what do you have to say about it? You comfortable with continuing, or what?
Well, it does put quite a damper on our agreement, which was that you could keep whatever it was that you found here. I guess it would be up to you. You have to understand, you're the fighting one. You're the ones who know how to deal with dangers and threats. I'm simply along to perhaps provide some guidance and also know what it is exactly we're looking for at the end of all of this, because what we are ultimately looking for is far more valuable than perhaps the culmination of all the items you might find while we're here. So,
Right, but if you intend on taking whatever that is,
I'm going to share it with you.
Right, but I'm still saying that you seem to be in the same situation we are with. You intend to take something from this place, and small, strange former elf creatures to be believed, that would forfeit your soul into some jar as well.
I don't know that I... And he leans in really close and hoping that the Vudos isn't hearing what he's saying. I don't know that I believe that there is a master.
I think it would be good to perhaps just see what we find, and before we touch anything, perhaps get to the bottom of it and then retrieve things on the way back, because it wouldn't be a good idea to take things as we go anyway. That could slow us down until we get what we came here for.
That
That's
is
a good
true.
point, Marcus.
Yeah, the object might have been placed to slow us down, as we go through.
What I know of this location is that there are many fine things to be had, and it was one of the few ruins that hasn't been gone through with a fine-tooth comb. So, my understanding is that there are many fine things to find here. Whether or not you choose to take them is up to you. But I do know that our contract, which is really only verbal, I think, is that you protect me while we attempt to gain this object at the end. Your part of the bargain was that you get all the loot in between. I'm willing to take my fragment that I'm looking for. Your job is to protect me, whether that means keeping my soul from going into a jar or protecting me from dying on the way there and back. I mean, I don't think I'm being unfair in that description.
No, we came here for a reason. We should accomplish what you needed before we see to our own needs.
That's up to you.
I think if you intend on continuing, I think we're clear to go, and we will deal with things as they arise, and perhaps this deal we've made, something comes of it. But I think Bright Eyes made a good point of maybe not loading ourselves up as we travel, and perhaps just taking note of where stuff is and picking it up on our way out.
Do not trust this creature anyway. I see a double cross in the future.
I don't trust him either. So,
I still ain't completely sure about this one over here, as I gesture to Shaco, but we got him along for the ride.
Between the two of them, I would prefer this man to that beast.
Right.
Ah, thanks, man. It's real nice.
I mean, it is nice. Not very nice, but it is nice.
that's hilarious.
Then I guess we have a plan then. We venture through this place, keep an eye out for stuff we want to pick up on our way out, find the back part that we're looking for, which probably has what you're looking for, Lizanne Ladir, as well as this fella's jar. Maybe check out that secret passage storage area he talked about.
We should be careful with that, because he did say that, well, the few who found it never made it out.
He did mention there was something else down there, so that could just be a byproduct of something down there. But hey, if that secret storeroom is there, it adds a little bit of credibility to what he's saying, if nothing else.
I'm also concerned about the name thing. That was unnerving. Why did it scroll like that? There are many questions that I have.
I think I'll be all right if he does anything funky with that, but I hope you will be too, Brightass.
Yes, I'm sure it's of no surprise that my real name is not Thin White Duke, but I do not know what kind of.
Brightass.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Rizzy.
All right, so which way do you guys want to go?
Oh, right, that.
Any direction but up?
I'm sure y'all have heard by now that weird grinding noise is coming from that left tunnel over there, and he said that's going to be easier than the main passage.
Yeah, seems like
check out what that is, or
I mean, I agree, but perhaps he was trying to eliminate us immediately. I mean, that could be the hardest tunnel to go through.
well, we can either consider what he said, or we can just decide for ourselves like we were going to in the first place.
Okay.
Zanladir, that map you got, any indication on which way we might want to be heading in to head towards the thing you're looking for?
I almost did the other voice for Zanladir.
I mean, it would match.
Yeah, probably. Well, according to the map, there is a back staircase that leads downwards down to the basement, and then from the basement, there's another like hidden passage or something. It's kind of scribbled on here, like the map was made, and then somebody like hand drew this other section. But I think the basement's where we're looking to get to. So I think through the main entryway or the main hall, off of there is our main staircase we're looking to get to. I mean, we're standing in a cave. None of this looks like what's on the map. The map had a main entrance. I don't see a main entrance.
Oh, let's also not forget that we agreed to that fella up there, the Eloin, that in agreement for helping out Duke, we would clear the whole place out, or at least best we can. So let's keep that in mind.
That poses a problem. If by clear out you meant like remove all bad things down here, wouldn't that mean the small creature?
Maybe.
If he proves himself an issue, then we'd have to deal with it, perhaps. But until then, he might be a non-issue with regards to that.
They could just be the new curator. Whatever.
Well, he also said he wanted to kill his master and die.
Right. If this feller's telling the truth, then we ain't got no reason to get in his way and not help him. But that is a big if. Let's see, if we're aiming to get to the basement, and this thing said the right passageway should get us straight there, I don't think it would be the worst thing to perhaps get the main objective that we're here for, which is Zanladir, your goal. Get that done first. Once that's handled, then we can spend a bit more time with or without you here. You could always head back up once we're done with you. We could spend some more time exploring and flushing out the place.
Not to mention, if we waste our resources or our energies on some smaller things or, minor fights, then if this master truly challenges us, we would want to be at our best fighting shape.
So we should. Oh, go ahead. Zanladir.
No, go ahead.
All right, I was gonna say, so we should start with the middle path, since from going off what Voodoo said, the one said would be the most dangerous one. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's like something breeding over there, so I'm guessing that's where the master is.
Oh.
Right. Check it out, at least. If we run into something we don't want to deal with quite yet, we could always turn back and try one of the other paths.
Very true.
I'll leave it
And
up
the
to
master
you.
won't attack us unless we steal something. Correct?
So the thing said.
It's an
That's the way
open
it
museum.
sounded.
It's free.
He didn't say that the master was going to attack you. He said that your soul is only committed to a jar once you've taken something.
There's
Or
something about-
once you've taken something and try to leave with it is the...
Right, so, yeah.
All right.
So we should be fine to meet the master and compliment him on his museum.
If it's even
Yeah.
here, but yeah.
You're a bold man.
I have nothing to fear.
Oh, that is, I don't think that is accurate, but I take your word for it.
Are all the people over on the Mylands just like you, or are you an odd one over there too?
Pretty much odd everywhere I go.
tracks.
But the people on the
believe that.
island I'm from are freaky. Not a huge fan.
All right.
You know, there's one time I had a small fire on the farm, and all the townspeople got together. You know what? Another time.
Maybe we will get out of this cave and then swap stories after our adventure. I think that is a better idea than standing here. We should get moving.
Right.
Sounds
I
good.
agree. So then start with the middle path and adjust as needed.
Very well.
Alright.
On board.
All right. At this point, I am going to start doing detect magic pretty consistently as we travel through these passageways.
Okay. I
As we
want to
take our time.
hear it like every time you're casting it.
Start now.
Okay, so you start now. You guys head towards the central passage, which is a cave. It's not very wide. It actually looks like the cave was rent from bottom to top, like some kind of large crevice. It's not like a cave mouth opening. It's actually a crack that thins as it goes upwards. And it's only about
I gotta say, real quick before we get too deep into it, I was still expecting a 9 o'clock end, so I'm not gonna be around.
which is in
much longer.
7 minutes, right?
I'm just letting you know. I'm just saying. I'm just said. I don't want to start fighting anything because I'm gonna want to fight. And
No, I fully intended on an 11 o'clock
okay,
stop or 9 for you. That's fine.
thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
You don't have to make it sound like that. Like I'm always the bad guy.
It's
For
always
you.
your
We're only
fault,
stopping
Alex.
because of you, so don't worry.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just
It's not me. It's soldiers who might be dead. Who knows?
Wow.
To the worst.
Still dealing with that?
Nah, well, he's apparently not dead. Just AWOL. So. Anyway,
I mean, okay. So you guys, it's about a 5 foot wide opening, and it looks like it closes in to get to a point where it's single file, heading inwards, and it is pitch black. At a certain point, the rocks inside, it looks like there was not a cave in, but parts of the rock had like broken off and slid down to make it so you have to like get down underneath the rock and kind of push yourself through to another section. And even getting past that, I mean, I'm going to be asking for a marching order probably next session for going into this, but this is what you see as you're progressing through it. Parts of the wall look like they're broken on the left and right hand side, almost to the point where you could like put your hand through, but you don't know what's on the other side of these various sections of rocks that have kind of fallen down on the left and right. And it gets tighter and tighter and tighter as you're getting to the end of this, to the point where the rocks have fallen down to where you'd have to get down on your stomach and crawl underneath a rock that's like a pointed rock that's been hewn off at a certain point and like pointing down towards the ground. So when you're crawling under, this pointed rock is like scraping against your chest and your stomach as you're crawling, well, or the other way, against your back as you're crawling underneath it to get to the next section. But everyone feels, as they're crawling through this section, I think I've said that phrase like 4 times now, crawling through this section, this like really humid breeze that's warm and smells like rotting flesh that is just kind of expanding outwards through this cave section and out into the main chamber that you would all come from. And it's becoming more and more intense, more humid, warmer. And finally, whoever's at the front reaches a partially closed door. Everyone having dark vision, the person at the front is like laying on their stomach, like looking at this door that's like a double door that's partially opened about maybe 4 inches, and can look inside and sees a double row of white teeth that span the entire width of the door and beyond. So like they're looking at a mouth that's closed with
up against the door.
A mouth up against the door. But they are on their stomach or however they want to be managing themselves in, to the point where you cannot stand up in front of this door. And it's open just enough to see and hear this sound as a breath is obviously emanating into the hallway here. And we'll pick back up there next week